Yeah.
No, not clear throat, Bobby.
Yeah. So should
dudes.
we got some wild? We got like a fucking typhoon over here. Is that right?
Really?
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
Like legit, or you fucking
wild, dude. On New Year's Eve, trees fell down all over the fucking place. We had that tree fall in the parking lot of our shop, and it's about to fall the rest of the way tonight for fucking sure. John Nolte and his whole family almost freaking died.
What?
A tree in his back, a big ass tree, fell, and if it wouldn't have hit directly on his chimney, they would have been fucking goners. Big ass tree, this big around, broke over the house, fucked the whole house up.
And they were all sitting right there too, right? That's what he said in his post.
Yeah, well, the shit was coming through the roof right over the top of his wife and his daughter. They were freaking out.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said in his video that he's been telling the
landlord,
or whatever, that tree needs to go. And
I had a situation at my old house where I was renting, and I was telling the landlord, I was like, that shit is gonna split in half. It's gonna go right fucking here. And I told him half a dozen times. He had somebody come out and look at it, and he's like, oh, the arborist said it would be fine. And I was like, are you lying? And sure as shit,
obviously,
pow, right exactly where I said that motherfucker was gonna split. Me and my neighbor were both like, right there, right? And like, yeah, that's gonna fuck our houses up. And luckily, it only did a little bit of damage to both of our houses. And yeah, oh well.
Everyone's okay, you know.
Yeah. And then one of my technicians, Brett, a tree fell at his house and fucked up one of his trucks, and it totally took out their mule, their little side by side, like little tractor thingy for their piece of land. Destroyed that thing. So a lot of trees down. So
yeah, that's crazy, dude.
And the big storm is coming now. Like it's starting.
Yeah, I heard about it. Like we got the last storm you guys had that's been taking down trees here, heavy snow. It's just like dropping pines everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just like it just turns to snow when it gets over here, you know.
That was that bomb cyclone thing I was reading about. I read the headline on something about
cyclone bomb.
I don't know. I thought it said bomb cyclone.
It's a bomb ass cyclone. I don't know.
No, that's what I think.
Did it
moved your body like a cyclone?
It has been really shitty here too. Just like
flooding rain, debris flows, high winds, feet of snow in Cali. What the hell is going on over there?
Well, there's a lot of
wow. Thanks, Obama. Wow.
100%.
The entire state is under a flood watch. The entire state. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that serious.
The rest
shit's wild.
Dude, they're talking.
Is it raining right now, Bobby?
Dude,
yeah.
They're talking about. Right holy shit. Let me pull this down. Present, share screen.
I like how Drew looks like he's in the Matrix.
Look at so near Reno, so Sparks is in there. Look at all that, dude.
That looks like a wet spell and some panties.
Dude, it's like
did I say that
2 feet of snow
on some dude's panties, huh?
It looks like a huge boner to me.
Nice.
Hanging.
This looks like a disaster for the state of California. That's what this looks like.
Hanging wang, I guess.
Dude, someone tell John Robbie or Rabby. Close enough. See, I was in the middle. That he's not going to have power for at least a month.
He got power turned back on at like 4:20 in the afternoon, right when everybody was going home. Is when their power turned on.
Tell him it's going to turn back off. Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Up in those mountains, though, they got a ton of snow.
Oh yeah, Tahoe's getting pounded.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we have like overflow of boxes. We filled the Sprinter van. We were hoping to go up yesterday, but yesterday morning I contacted John. He was like, dude, I'm like going to send everybody home or something. I don't even know what to do. And he's like, my Audi won't make it up to the bay door. So all of you guys have been to Sky High. That driveway is not very steep. It's not steep, but it's not very steep. But fucking Audi won't go up that shit. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's they got the new wagon, the RS6 of Han.
Yeah,
right.
They said the FedEx truck got stuck today, and Joel was out there helping them get unstuck. The FedEx guy get unstuck from there.
Oh my God!
Probably the bottom of the driveway, just the little gutter.
They should have had a conversation with FedEx and be like, "Hey, y'all need to stop leaving Drew's shit in the yard in the rain."
In the yard.
In the rain, throwing it. Oh man! So anyway, for those who aren't aware, we have DJ Rusticals with us this week.
Yeah.
Tonight this week.
Tonight this week. Yeah,
both.
Sure.
Yeah. It's both.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on, I guess.
Dude, of course.
I appreciate it.
For those who, I assume everyone knows who you are, especially in the bass head world, because your music is, it's all I play. It's all I play in the top flat. Yeah.
Everyone knows who I am. It's either everybody loves me or they hate me. There's no in between,
Look, the app stays ready to go on my phone. It's the only way I play music in my Tahoe. Because I know that it's going to be no clipping. It's all going to be about the same output level, volume-wise.
I try to stay consistent.
Yep, and it's just it's easy. It works.
That was the whole point of the whole ordeal of me doing this, was to create something very consistent and very user-friendly, and it was safe, and it was designed for large fucking stereos, Not, most producers and engineers don't think about doing this for like a large 100,000-watt system.
It's not their fault. Right. That's just not. Yeah. But like you said, you think about it because, what a lot of people don't know is you've been loud, not just like a little loud. Like, you've had a musical build that did 170 bursts. It would street beat like 66, 67s, right?
Yeah, it did 65s on the dash, 70s in the kick, Yeah, no mods, just fucking 12 volts in front of B-pillar, no mods.
A lot of people don't either remember or don't know that about you. It was a Jeep. I guess some more people would know that Pablo had it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't do great with it. Sold it to another guy in Louisiana.
Yep.
Never used it. I looked at it. I considered buying it, but at that point,
it was already destroyed. Like, in the sense of he didn't know how to run it, and then he destroyed the cabin because he didn't know how to properly run the system. So in a sense, it fatigued the whole metal and the roof line and all that. It caused all kinds of problems. I'm like, he offered to sell it back to me. I was like, no, I'd rather build a new one myself.
Which is a big struggle for stock cabin builds that a lot of people don't think about. Is you can run them and never have an issue, or tear it up in a week.
Right. Well, it's all about prepping the cabin, appropriately to handle that kind of pressure. If you do it right out the gate, you shouldn't have a problem. If you wait a while and you play your system, you don't reinforce the cabin, obviously you're going to have a lot of fatigue, a lot of ripping, a lot of stuff. You're going to have decibels you're not going to find ever again, no matter how you repair it.
Yep, that is
usually
that is a concern that we have with the Nitro, but
yeah,
I think
as we'll you should.
But I think we will figure it out. So,
now every once in a while, Chris, I'm trying to, explain to customers and stuff that we do a medium large scale build for, right? A large for a daily driver, some guy that's driving to work, right? They don't go to a competition of any kind ever, but they're like, yeah, I got 4 12s and 12,000 watts, and they're like, dude, I found this song on YouTube. And I'm like, no. And they're like, what? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, this is, Rusticals app, and do this. And, and I tell them, look for this bandwidth for you. And they're like, but why? It sounds good. And I'm like, you're going to break things. Like, yeah, my subs got real stinky real fast. All I can really say to these guys is like, no, and this is what you do, and this is how you're safe. How do we the guys that are more technical, that have to know, the real reason, and so make it easier for me to sell these guys your app, really is what it comes down to.
Yeah, it just you gotta teach people that, like, YouTube, there's no consistencies. Well, there's no consistencies. There's no industry standard for music levels and recording and just output of mixing, mastering. There's all different for every bandwidth in a song, whatever it may be, for every instrument. There's no, it's designed intentionally the way every song is designed, to sound a certain way. It doesn't mean they're literally looking at gain staging certain things. So like YouTube, you can have a variance of different, you could have a bunch of my songs on there too. Like, a lot of people just re-upload stuff and they're not as good because, well, YouTube compresses to save for their servers.
Yep.
And so that alone can sometimes cause clipping. It just sounds a lot less. The levels become uneven. Everything is just whatever. It's not the way I designed it. So you just got to teach people that levels and playing something that's very consistent. Like most of my edits are very much the same. I've improved them and bumped them up a little bit over the years. But if you set for like a -5 tone with 0 dB overlap with an SMD tool, like you should be gold on the substage. And then also the same thing for like the mids and highs. Set for like negative, like bring it down a little so you kind of bounce back up. So everything of mine isn't like. People think that the rebase means everything's louder. In fact, actually, all my files are actually substantially quieter than the original file. Even the substage, it's just gain. It's just not gain match, but it's kind of gain stage where they're the subs a little bit up, the mids are a little bit down. Everything's kind of remastered, so the file is more consistent across all levels. So you just need to set your gains appropriately to get that volume back, on your system. So it all comes down to just proper gain staging of the system is all you really need to do, as long as you have something that's quite consistent. Like my edits, not everybody's is the same. No industry is the same. Like you can go from my edits to like commercially available songs, and you're gonna have to reset your whole system again, like to stay in a safe range. That, or you just keep the volume down a little bit, because most commercially available music is a lot hotter. So there's a lot of variables going on here.
And even circling back to people saying, people re-uploading your edits to YouTube. They could have taken it, tossed it in some random program, and turned it up a couple dB.
I got people that slow it and fucking chop it up. They do all kinds of I see it a lot of times where it's
distorted and it's not good.
Right. Sometimes it's intentional. Yeah.
That's the one thing about your app is I know no matter what track I pick, say you change the way you do something between pack 1 and pack 100. Say you went up 2 dB or down 2 dB. That's fine. I know it's gonna be clean no matter where it's at.
Right.
Yep. See someone.
Yeah, I think most people would have thought that the music that you make would have been hotter, not quieter.
It sounds louder. It's your hearing perceives the bass to be louder because I brought down the rest of the track and made myself more level. Like most over like a 3-minute span, if there's no breaks in the sub bass, it's roughly a -5 decibel value, and it changes as the 808 glides or whatever it may need to do. But overall, it never goes past a certain threshold, and I make sure of that with compression and parallel compression. And when I mix everything back together and glue it all together, it's all stays in that general area. The only thing in my tracks that are louder than that is the kick drum, because the kick drum is usually the loudest instrument in any song. So I also mimic that by having like a -3.5 dB kick drums, and that's like anywhere from like 45 milliseconds to about 200 milliseconds in time. So even if that goes past what you set your gain to, it's so quick that you get that little flash on like your bass knob. That's most likely the kick drum, and you're more than safe because that's so quick that it's just going above that threshold, but still below 0 dB on the actual recording.
The technical term will be it's a transient.
Yes, that's correct.
But the quick flash, because I see people post about that kind of often. A quick flash on those hard hits, it's fine. That's A-okay.
Right. That's what transient. The transient. Yep.
Because if you tuned it down to where even the transients don't have any clipping,
you're leaving a lot on the table.
No output.
If the clip light's not blinking a little bit, then you're leaving a lot on the table. I tell
many amps these days, Down for Sounds are the one that I've most recently had this experience with. Is the clip light will come on about 5 to 10% sooner than even the distortion light will come on a DD1. Super safe for the equipment, but you'll see that transient spike just because it's hitting that voltage set point sooner.
Right. And usually it's caused, intentionally the kick drum is designed to be a little bit louder, but when you have an 808 run into that, because they sit in the same fundamental low-end frequency when mixing a song, you got to carve that out by some compression, and that's usually like a side chain where as your 808 goes over the top of the kick drum, it actually ducks down in a certain amount depending on how you set it. Like I ducked mine 20 dB, so you still got a little bit of that sub bass information on top of that kick drum, so it kind of elevates it a little bit in terms of levels. It's just common shit in production. So, but it's totally safe, and like I said, it's not even at the 0 dB mark. Even with the rest of the song glued together, it is designed in such a way that it'll never go past 0 dB with the rest of the track included on that signal. So everything's all gain staging. You want to gain stage your whole system. Everybody doesn't seem to understand how to, like, if they might get the substage right, they get the rest of the, like the mid and tweeter and all that wrong. same as the EQing and stuff. Like, there's a certain way I design my stuff, and like obviously I'm like pretty much the only one that really knows. Drew has a good idea, but with my new upcoming build, that's another thing I'm kind of show is how to set up a system of this caliper that can play my edits and do it accurately in the way I designed them and intended to them to play out. So yeah. It's gonna be.
What are you building right now? I have not.
I've been keeping it mostly secret, but like it's pretty much out in the open in terms of people that are in the know.
Do you want, Chris, that picture you sent me from the looking backwards earlier today? You want to show that, or you want to keep that secret for now?
No, you could pop it up. It's most people know what I'm doing now. They just don't know exactly what I have done or whatever. So show it.
All right,
it's done a lot.
Oh yeah, all steel, baby, all steel. Look at that sauce.
Hold on a second.
That's sauce,
and that's 12-15s, Chris.
Correct.
1 second.
What 15s are you using?
I'm bringing it back up.
Is it in a Jeep again?
Yeah, same body style, different Jeep, but same body style to bring back the nostalgia of what I used to do with the same vehicle. So that's all steel. Behind it is 1x2 tubing. And it's 4 on center, and it's all welded together. It's 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch plate, and quarter angle, all that. And I'm still not even close to being done. I got the loading walls put in next, and then I got to grind all that mill scale down and everything else to clean it up, and then go from there. And then I'm gonna steel trim panel all the way around, seal off the rear, and then I got 2,000 pounds of Vibraflex 190 from PPC. That'd be Anton Miller for deadener up front in front of B pillar, and then I also have like a 16-pound 5-gallon foam kit to fucking put in there, and then. I got the last 5 packs of double rigid that I could find in the States to use in certain places. But yeah, it's going to be pretty heavy up front to keep it a stock cab, and then all the OEM panels go back in.
Yeah, dude, that's going to be...
Yeah, it's pretty monstrous. That's only about 5 weekends worth of work. Fridays and Saturdays, myself and my father, and it's obviously in the raw state, but that's all the steel work we've done.
Oh yeah, dude, they've been putting in work, bro.
Oh yeah, like those panels, each one of those panels, like the ceiling, the floor, the side walls, all that, are minimum 400 plus pounds a piece. We had to use a skid steer with a forklift attachment to throw that ceiling piece up while we put in the side walls and welded that in. So it's nice. It's pretty heavy. Like I couldn't even lift it off the floor by myself. Yeah, I was like, holy hell. So that's about 2,000 pounds empty.
The subs and all that you're using yet?
What's that now?
Have you announced the subs and all that you're using?
To the certain people, I suppose I could say it now. It's not really too big of a
secret. It's up to you, man. It's up to you.
The 1215 SDDNs with the 1 ohm coil, so we're going to be 1.5 ohm nominally, so I'll have 12 amps, and we're going to do full carbon cones, dust caps, and then we're going to do the X spiders since we're really tight on seal space intentionally, so we have more than plenty of cone control for that, compliance. Yeah, and it's just
the seal side does look pretty tight.
Oh,
what are you gonna do? What do you run? Well, you don't have to say if you probably don't want to, but it does look small.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Well, the exterior, so the panels are thin, so it looks small, but it's not. It's small but big, but small.
I mean, the loud is small anyway. Like if you look at, say like Joe Price's van, it ended up like 1.3 a sub. I mean, they end up tiny.
Yeah, this is like one per 15 is where I'm exactly at. Yep, it's 1 per. It's intentional.
Is that
because
is that counting the cones or not counting the cones?
So they're inverted, so I actually accounted for the added space of the cone itself, but then removed then I did the calculations for all the bracing, the angle iron side. Then I added the space if you stack the 1/2 inch plate on itself 6 times for each side, add that space, removed. I worked myself out to exactly 1 per was what the goal was. So I took all those calculations in effect. Like I have a whole laundry list of shit I write out before I even I don't design or anything. I design in my head. I look at a car and I'm like, okay, this is how I need to build it for what I want for output and the bandwidth and stuff, and I just start cutting steel and start welding. That's just the way I am as a fabricator, So I'm not
so
traditional.
Michael, you were asking about the app, and he's mentioned Signal right here. So if you have an Android phone, you can, and you have I know it does it with the high end version of the app. You can download the tracks right to your phone, and then say you have Spotify, you can load them into your local files through Spotify, and that way you don't have to worry about service. So like you go to Slamology, you're 50-50 if your cell phone's going to work. That's just how it is.
And actually, there were so many users at Slamology, even though I didn't make it because of all the shit that happened to me. I had people start to have issues where the app was like overloaded, or everybody wanted on.
That's another reason that I just download it on my phone. I use Spotify and do local files, and I can play them.
Yeah. And here's another thing most people don't realize is, and I give this information out when people purchase the app. I send them an email of like how to install it, how to use it, whatnot. And there's a certain section where I tell people how to use it on a PC, where you can actually download the tracks there and make your own custom playlist for your own USB, for your own personal use, not for resell or retrade out or whatever, just for yourself. So there's many ways of going about using this. You got the simplicity of just streaming directly from there via Bluetooth or like USB cable to head unit, which is better because it's like a USB drive. Or you can buy a USB drive from me, or you can make a USB drive from the app. There's many ways to get the content itself.
People who don't have the app at this point, I don't even know what they're doing.
I suggest certain people that don't buy it. I talk customers out of buying the app. If they're older, I'm like, hey, are you tech savvy? And they're like, I don't understand any of this. Like, just the simplicity is, I buy a USB drive. Yeah, it doesn't get updated every day. You don't have nearly as much edits and stuff, but it's a good way to have a good range of stuff.
Oh, and for those who don't have the app, so it, like it says, it updates often, and he makes daily. 3 versions of every song, and you can see all 3 versions. You can pick the frequency you want right then, and you can even search by say you want to track this 25 hertz. You just type in 25 hertz, and it'll pull off any track that has 25 hertz in the title.
Yep, I got a search engine in there. You gotta be pretty specific with it, or you need to spell everything correctly. Otherwise, you're not gonna find things. But there's the search engine there. You can search by song name, album name, artist name, by genre, all that stuff. By pack number, anything that can be referenced as like a metadata. So
he did say 12 SDDN carbon 15s. He did not say power, but I know it's power.
Well, he did say 12 amps. No, he said 12 amps, but didn't say what amps.
So you could get a pretty good idea.
What amps are you using?
See, you're supposed to know. I had no idea. Hold on, I didn't know Bobby was going to do amps. I had no fucking idea. Otherwise, I would have waited. But, but there's people that are going to hate me for this one, and I don't really give a fuck because the product is really good.
They're
really,
compact
really good.
And powerful, bro.
Tor amps 3K.
No.
I'm joking.
I'll tell right now. I'm gonna
sound digital.
No. I'll tell right now. It's JP43s ran at 16 volts, so probably certified at 2 ohms by about $5,000 a power per. Yeah. So and I'm wired at half ohm, so between 23 to 62 hertz, I'll probably see anywhere from like 50,000 to about almost 100,000 watts of power.
So I'll tell you this: I got a buddy who swapped from Crescendo 6Ks to JP43s, and immediately had to back down everything in the system. They were just so powerful. They're
very aggressive. And here's the beautiful thing: everybody that I see doing amp dyno testing on it, like Big D and all of them, the amps get 90% efficient at 2 ohms. Like, there ain't many amps out there that do that. Like, so it's less harmful on your DC side, even though I have 900 amp hours of CMAX, like a lot. And I could add another 1,200. I could add another like 200 more to that. I could fit that in a vehicle if I need to. What
would you do?
Stiff voltage, motherfucker. Like, we're talking hard as my cock. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want no dips. I don't want a 10th drop. I want to be able to turn this thing on, do like a 60 to 1,000 watts and walk away.
He wants to say, turn it up and have voltage rise.
Pretty much.
From the bad performing up.
Right, when you put a little load to it, it starts climbing a little. I'm like, check this shit. I'm at full tilt.
I don't even need an alternator. I'll charge it when I get home.
Right, I got a 90 amp excess power charger for it, and then I also have a 370 XP.
Realistically, unless you're demoing for an hour to 2 hours straight, that you could leave the vehicle off. Just leave the 90 amp on there, and I'm gonna leave it on my demo, and I'm also gonna plug in that power supply to the inverter on my pickup truck. Oh, speaking of Thaddeus, he mentioned a minute ago that not Kicker, but the pricing got released for the new L7X.
Does that mean that we can order one?
You can pre-order one.
God damn it!
I know, but
you pre-order a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, you can. But pricing got released, and it was actually, I was happy with it when I saw it. It was $699 for a 12 for a 10, 649 10, 699 12, 749 15.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Good.
That's not bad.
Good.
No, that's about right. I figured it'd be higher, to be honest with you. But
I think I saw a sneak peek of like Dredden doing some cones for them, or am I thinking of something else?
So Dredden has done cones for the original Solo X.
Okay. Because I thought I saw something in the DTX chat today talking about the new stuff and they have no cones. I could be wrong. It could be from the old ones.
Well, I mean, these are going to have the infield changing. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you could build cones, but
I mean, and as soon as they're dread and cones available, I'm gonna talk with Kicker. I would love to put those in the Nitro just to get that a little bit extra.
Oh, that's a little bit of extra. That's a whole lot of sauce,
a little bit of sauce. You got to have the extra sauce.
I like it saucy.
I'll share something with you later, Drew.
All right, cool. It was a J. Okay. So speaking of
something saucy, and am I not included in the getting share?
Oh no, you'll be.
I can show you too because you signed an.
Is this more of that shitaholic thing where I'm not included in it?
We need to
keep going down that shitaholic. But hey, Drew, man, I got something for. Hey, Drew, you want to do this thing with me? I'm all.
What are you talking about?
That's shitaholic.
I literally send things that Bobby talk about in the group chat.
Just make sure it's not.
So I think it was a 63. I set the gains on with a DD1 Plus. It got to 119 volts. It's clean. I'm like, bro, what is this doing? What? A JP63, like 119 volts, 120 volts clean.
That's nice.
Before I was just like, bro, this is too much power for these 2 subs. We're going to back this down.
Get a little amperage in her. It's like a stove coil top. Like, let's get hot, baby.
There you go, Bobby.
What? I mean,
currently I have a 5700 that makes about 8,000 watts. And eventually I'll have probably a 9K.
Steve, I'm not sure. I've never asked.
Is it Korean?
Yeah.
Korean
everything from the 33 up is SNI.
SNI.
That's not good shit.
Gotcha.
I think Bobby probably uses SNI if I had to guess. That's just.
He's like, no, Chinese all the way on the other side.
Yeah, no, not even Chinese. I use some weird shit from
Indonesia.
Malaysia.
North Korea. Places. North Korean.
Wow, fuck.
Zimbabwe.
Yes,
they're powered by fake nuclear ideas.
Look, one of us owns a clothing company.
I can
make it happen, dude.
I make this happen.
Gotta make it. Yeah,
I'll put Shitaholic by Gately Audio.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
There could be gay shitaholic.
Ooh.
Fuck. You guys didn't like that.
Oh,
That's
God.
Funny that you didn't like it.
I bought it.
Gay shitaholic. Oh, yeah. But don't just leave the Y out.
GA. I mean,
at least he's honest. Just lazy.
JP77?
Yes, a 7-channel. So 6-channel for mids and highs, and a 7th channel is like 1,500 watts or 2,000 watts for bass. Like
that's a big boy.
It's cool.
He's got all kinds of crazy shit.
I'm working on a staggered power 8-channel. I'm thinking like 4x30 or 50, and then like 4x250 or 350 or something.
That'd be so. The way I would use it myself.
Tweeters and mids.
So say you got the 50s go on the tweeters. The second set of 50s would go on rear fill, right minus left, left minus channel. Right, or center, or if someone's doing center, I would do rear, right minus left, left minus right, out of phase, whatever, and then the 250s on mid range and then mid bass.
That's how I would line it up.
That'd be solid.
Nice.
That's my thoughts. Or I mean, there's so many applications for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like on a lot of trucks we do, we'll build A-pillars. We'll have a tweeter and a 3-inch, and then we'll have a 6.5 in the door, and then we'll have a coaxial in the back. So I'll have 250 in the back, 250 on the front doors,
like
50,
Eric's truck.
50.
That'd be perfect. That'd have been perfect in Eric's truck.
Boom.
100%.
Well, I have the B2 8-channel. It's not a staggered power though. The big B2 Soul 8. It's not a product that people can buy. Andrew had like 3 of them made, and he gave me one because he loves me. And that's what I have currently in my truck. But I don't currently have my truck. Sky High has my truck. But yeah. Anyway, that's my plan for amps.
I would say definitely make that. Even for the guys that are building big doors, it works for us perfectly too, because you could use the 250s for just all your mid bass and the tweeters, so you said, but instead of it all different doors in the rear, just one per door. Be perfect.
Oh yeah, staggered 8-channel would be sweet. I mean, and if you can even add power, but us, we always want more power.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out what's appropriate. And like right now, all my amps are gigantic. I was kind of thinking maybe I can try to squeeze that into a smaller footprint than even my Class AB 4-channel. But, like the guys tuning it's called the Prospector, that mega cab that we've been working on. We put 2 of our, 700 watt Class AB 4 channels. And we got like a 200 watt channel running tweeters.
Mm-hmm.
Colt's like, how do I not melt tweeters? And I'm all, you gotta set the level to how as much as you want to give it. And he's like,
so like no power, cut the whole channel practically off.
So just back that thing way. And he's like, holy shit. So we have a fucking 4-channel this big running tweeters and 3-inch.
Yep.
But
that's
if you want to be full active, then you want
to have if you could fit that 8-channel you want in that same case.
That's my plan.
Then you save on tooling and a couple other things too.
I don't have to change my tooling.
So that device that you ordered this week, or was it last week?
Or at least case sizing, it's all the same.
That JL device you ordered, Bobby, is going to help with level setting like that to not worry about things.
Here's a fun thing is Audio Control just made updates to make it so that you can deal with the all pass filters.
I saw that.
Literally the day after we put 2 kicker key locks in a customer's truck. I'm like, Colt's like just got done installing them. He's doing all this. I like send him the thing, and I'm all looking at it. And
the beta comes out today.
That's crazy.
What? And I'm like, I put the key locks in the truck. I'm finding that no matter what, the signal in that 2019 Chevy just doesn't sound that good. Like
I've been told that it's just not.
It's not enough. It's not. I've
only ever used the lower side of it for subs. I've never done a full range system in it, but I've heard.
Well, we're trying to have. I mean, we're full active, and it's got this massive subsystem, and it's badass. But it sounds like pretty fucking good. But 1,500 watts.
How did those key locks work? How'd they work for you, Bobby? Were they easy to use? They do what you thought they were going to do, the key locks. I haven't messed with them.
I didn't install them. Colt did. It takes 8 minutes for them to like get their shit together, and they make this signal that sounds hella weird. That was weird in Allison out. Even all the way across the parking lot, then we were hearing this weird ass zoop, zoop, zoop sound, and Allie's like, "What the fuck is that?" She's like, "Is your computer making that noise?" And I'm all walking over him, all putting them all. No. I'm like, I think it's Colt. And I like open the door and I'm all, oh God, it is. Thank you. I'm like, my computer doing weird shit would freak me out. It's like, my computer. We don't want that thing making funny fucking noises.
Audio Control released the beta software today. It looks the same, which kind of irritates me because it's such a pain in the ass to use. But if it improves the issues that we were having, I will like them more.
I don't think he actually says that it's junk. It's just that it's frustrating to deal with when he couldn't find the mute.
And the DMRTA is junk. The DMRTA is junk.
But RTA is a little less awesome.
The DMRTA is not good, and Bobby will be able to see why when he gets his new toy in. He'll be able to directly compare playing peak noise. If you raise the volume on both, play the exact same peak noise, the DMRTA will increase high end disproportionately than what the mics are actually hearing.
Oh, well, that's not good at all.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, you'll be able to see it now that you have both in hand. But the 810 now has dual all pass per channel, and it has a couple other. I watched the entire video. It has some. If they can get the bugs fixed,
then it's going to be great. And working with the Max is going to be awesome.
I'm not sure if he's asking me this question.
I mean, I don't have a kicker build done yet, so it's got to be you.
You better go.
I have no reason to up it. Yeah, I'm all steel as well. It's crazy how many all steel builds are coming out.
Why not up it?
I mean, they're kind of at max power right now. I don't know.
Are they?
See,
on an 8K?
Yeah.
Thaddeus agrees. Channel mute is hard to find.
Once you know where it is, it's not hard to find at all.
Exactly, but man, 45 minutes. Telling you.
Did you ask me?
Yeah,
was I not there?
No, you were there, but you were like, it's that. And I'm like, no, that means both channels. You're like, huh. This was like right before Sky High, so you were like 9 different places at once. Yeah, this was not. Yeah, we were all busy. Yeah. Signal calibration.
Bobby, send me the dimensions on. You have a 6K, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a 5700.
Some of the dims later, or they're online. Are they online?
Yes.
I had a Dayton DSP in the Tahoe for 3 years. I just took it out. Like I took it out only to put a tweak in, and then putting the Marine 6 channel in soon. It's the only reason.
I still feel like a fool for putting an 810 in my current build.
But,
no, I like my 810s.
I think you're misunderstanding when Drew's frustrated that he struggles with it. The 810 is
for me,
a good
it's
piece
easy.
of equipment.
Oh, and the 810 now that it has the all pass filters and some other
now that should really take it the rest of the way that we need it to be.
Yeah, the all pass filter was a pretty big thing that I'll be able to demonstrate now that Audio Control has. I'll be able to demonstrate it super easily in all of your builds. You use it, turn it on and off. Just that one setting will change the system. It's shocking.
Yeah. You know, now that I understand what an all pass filter is, very well, I know. Figuring out how to find them is now Colt's like, how the fuck do I find? I was like, well, the good news is the key lock does that whole shit for you.
The easiest way to find them, you're gonna have 2 super easy ways. The first is gonna be using Max because you can do dual channel inputs and some. The other easy way that I even think about buying it is 5-Star Car Stereo makes an IRTA2. It's a 2-channel RTA in a little plastic box. Syncs up with iPhone or whatever. You put in 2 channels and you can sum or you can do separate. And when you sum them, if you get a dip in signal, boom, all pass filter on 1 channel. And it's like $200. It's like $250, $200.
I'm just gonna get that shit right away. And I mean, in the Max, would it be a good tool to have in addition to the Max, or should I just have the guys?
I want to get one as well, just because it's easier and faster.
It's fast. Yeah.
So like, if you have your Max set up all the time on like a tuning cart, then it may not be a big difference. But like, I put mine up because I don't have like a shop or anything. So this is the IRTA. Just like
that's pretty cool.
It looks just like a rubber coated, just like the SMD tools. Signal goes in here, and then you get like any RTA app, and then when it finds an all pass, we sum 2 channels, you get a dip, and that's where your all pass is.
And you can you can study that and figure out what your cue for your all pass will be.
Yep.
Just on that. Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's $249.
That's really not that bad.
I mean, a tool like that, if it could save you 2 hours of work, an hour of work per vehicle, it adds up. Like at a proper shop like you or Nick or MTI, you're all 180 plus an hour. It adds up.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'm planning on building a really badass like tuning and test cart. That way, like if we're worried we're having trouble with a speaker or a amp or anything, like right on the tuning cart, there's a functional known amp, there's a functional DSP, there's, I'll probably put like my 5-channel, and I'll probably put my 5700. I'll put a retro 56 lithium battery and a little power supply, and then have the Max and a screen and the whole cart. I want to have that like.
Not just tuning, but for like troubleshooting everything.
For everything. It'll also be the tech bench.
I'll get you some information from like Scott or Jeffrey, who have set up cards, just to be like, hey, look, we tried this, do this. We tried setting it up like this, do this instead. That way you don't.
Okay, yeah, no, that'll be great to get in contact with those guys. Yeah. Very cool.
And if you want, like, somehow I could contribute. If you want stickers for a bunch of shit, I'll cut you a bunch of stickers.
What? For all the shit on my cart?
Like labels and shit. Yeah, on your cart. You can have your shit like all stickered out.
Ooh, I guess we're going to see flexing.
Sticker bomb.
That's cute. So everything's got to be labeled, right? Doesn't that count for points, Drew?
I think so.
Yeah. So, sent out a message at the pricing. They're like, oops. My bad. Sorry, everybody. Everybody responding all, fuck, that seems pretty cheap.
It's going to be like, oh.
Here's all. I mean,
we need to add 25%. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Sorry.
I don't think Showtime would put it online if it wasn't right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Can you get Dean on the show? We could probably get get Dean and Fernando on the show. They were super nice to meet at SEMA. They were super. I mean, I was dog tired, but they were super great.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Shitaholic stickers. I was about to say that, and I kept it to myself.
What I've heard is
I'm just
glad I didn't think of it myself.
Like everything it looks like it's labeled, and you look at it, and it's all shitaholic.
So what Blake is saying,
shitaholic positive, shitaholic negative.
Yeah.
So what Blake is saying is that's MAP, not MSRP. So MAP is going to be what it sells for online. So MAP.
Yeah, I'll make some gay shitaholic ones for you guys. It's coming. That's
bro.
You guys gotta stop.
I will wear that shirt. I'm into gay shitaholic. Well, I'm a gay shitaholic.
I am a gay shitaholic.
Yeah. And I thought I said some ridiculous shit.
I'm Bobby, and I'm a gay shitaholic.
I'm gonna throw that into a song. I'm gonna throw that into a song. I'm calling it right now. It's gonna fucking happen.
Oh, do that shit. Shitaholic. So, Chris.
No.
My wife wants me to ask you to make some more appropriate intros for when we have, like, especially young ladies that are not even of age yet in our vehicles, because nothing is more awkward and embarrassing than like having your customer's 11-year-old daughter hop in to do a hair trick, and it's gonna be a seat cream, and I'm like,
no, it's not. Sorry. All right, guys, we're doing sound quality demos.
Oh my god, dude.
It wasn't meant for adults, and it got out of hand. I'm sorry. What do you want to hear from me?
Well, I mean, you know what? And there's some of them are
fantastic.
I mean, even that was like kind of funny the first time I heard it, and it's like, but it's like there's a lot of those ones, and it's like, oh, dude, oh great, oh look, another seat creamer one. Okay.
Hey, I like trolling the internet.
19-year-old girl gets in and she's all, hi, this is cool. I've never seen anything like this before, and it's all okay, cool. And it's all seat creamer, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, oh, damn it. I meant to turn. Yeah. And so I get real good at it and I turn them down.
That's Chris.
And then I feel bad because I like
some of them.
I like when your intros come across in my demo videos.
I didn't know that.
You know?
Yeah. I know.
How many of them are hammy?
Right? A good hand. I mean, not all of them. There's like a couple of drops he did. He came up and recorded locally, and then we made fun with that. And I was back like 2016, 2017, like a long time ago at it, like DJ drop, sorry, but
ice creamer replacement word, just like a radio edit.
I like that.
It's gonna be, and it's like just somebody's all ice creamer.
You should make it super obvious, like ice. Super annoying. Just
no, that would
creamer.
be more funny. That would be more funny. People be all, that would be fucking. They'd be like, that was weird.
Keep the creamer part. Just put a really weird sounding ice in there. In a long pause. This is going to be
ice creamer.
Yeah.
I'll drop over the top. That fucking song from Vanilla Ice where it goes ice. I'll use that one little section, ice, on top of it. So like him saying ice and me going creamer. You know?
Yeah. Or I want
definitely not selling his edits at Walmart. These ain't no great value edits, buddy.
Meth intro. It was the meth intro for me.
Oh, that was for DeClue. That was for DeClue, I believe. If I remember right.
What does the intro say?
Honestly, I can't even fucking remember. I have too many to even. Dude, I can't keep up with my own shit. It's insane. Like I'm saying, this whole
that's not inappropriate. I would think that shit's funny.
What's the one that you say that something beats for wetter sheets? What is it?
Better beats for wetter seats.
Better beats for wetter seats.
That's a good
whatever
one.
The fuck it is. I can't even remember, dude.
Is it snapping windshields and? Gosh, some of them are great.
Dude, I got a new one recently after the accident I did that was like about aliens probing your asshole and shit. Or like a hysterectomy or something. I can't even fucking remember. It's the dumbest shit. I'm like, I want to throw this in here and see what the fuck people think. And nobody has like complained about it. I'm like, holy crap. Like
I mean,
bro,
you
what
should
is
make
happening
some
in
that
our
are like
comment
less
section,
appropriate for dudes. So you're like making man boobs jiggle and like all kinds of shit
Testicles
like that. Because
wiggle.
most of these
Bro,
motherfuckers.
what is happening in our comment section?
I'm not even looking at it. I'm afraid to read it. Like I'm staying here. Like
That gives me
I'm not
panty
looking over here at the
pudding.
comments.
Panty pudding.
I don't know if I've ever heard that described in a less appealing way.
Panty boogers.
Panty boogers.
Whoa,
that's bro.
Appealing. That's definitely
Panty
less
boogers.
Do you do
panty pudding
edits?
sounds better. Yeah, better.
So if you are a VIP member on the app, you can request for specific tracks, but I don't think he does fully custom edits.
And
pay out now.
Photos of Chris.
There's actually a few floating around with my dick. Actually, there's some people in here that's probably already seen it. No fucking joke. I don't give a fuck.
Bro, I can't zoom out that far, bro. That thing's too big, bro. I can't zoom out that far.
Cooter snot. Somebody said cooter snot.
Yeah.
And now the wife is gonna kill me. Appreciate that being out loud. You're welcome, bud. You're welcome.
Yeah. If you comment,
that shit's
it's
fancy
now
like
our content.
Applebee's.
What's up, Facebook user? Good to see you,
what
bud.
up, dudes?
Hey there, Facebook user.
Crazy wasn't getting through Tribe Multiple Grounds. I grounded the head unit with the DSP. Well,
you're getting signals from aliens when it does that.
Number one, throw your Pioneer radio in the trash can.
Hey, hold on. I love Pioneer. Go fuck yourself.
Hey.
You say that.
Those are fighting words.
You're the only one. No, actually, people love the ADPRS. But what irritates me about the ADPRS is people don't know why it's so good.
And it's active DSP and like they don't even know how to use it.
Right? It has independent left and right EQ.
That
is a huge point of it. People have never touched it. They're like, oh, it's so good. Yeah. Why?
Well, you look at most of them, they're not even running active on it either. They're not even running active. Most of them don't run active on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, so it has
for nothing.
The internet.
Yep.
Oh,
some people are paying $500 for one.
Don't use them anymore.
Dude, I
just looked for a 5 volt
at one point. I had one in all 4 of my operational vehicles, and then I had 3 extra. And I sold all of them for more money than I paid for all of them, but it was time for them to go. They served their purpose.
So it's a
I've never had a problem with an ADPRS. Everybody I know has had a problem with an ADPRS. I've owned like 4 of them between 4 different vehicles.
No, I mean, I've had a bunch of them. I never had an issue except for the screen flickering issue when you get loud.
Okay, wait.
I've had the blackout screen and I've had radio noise issues with a couple of them. But
did you RCA swap? Because that's a bad deal right there. That'll cause it away and never go away.
Which one, Bobby?
Does he have a dual head unit?
That's kind of what I was like. Is it like a
I'm like, bro.
Brand?
Have you tried not having that head unit?
So
maybe
I recommend Pioneers to my customers
to get rid of Nick's noise because he has a Dayton. Dude, we couldn't get rid of it. He ended up just getting the Bluetooth piece. He's a Bluetooth straight to the Dayton, and there's no noise. It's so weird. It's like the vehicle just has noise in it. We couldn't figure it out. Give up on it. I'm gonna buy an ADP. No, nobody pisses the internet off hard enough except for Taylor Gardner because he has a P99, the high-end one, that is sitting in a pile of rubble in his garage. And so he posted a picture of it, and people were like, oh, haha, you put that there for fun. No. I looked at where the pile of rubble was, and I know that there was a shelf that it was sitting on prior. It fell from the shelf to the pile of rubble, and he just left it.
What a fucking shame.
And he will not sell it to me. I'm like, bro, it's in rubble.
What kind of rubble?
Like just like
hoarding
shit, probably pieces of wood.
Tell you what, it's like junk. I think when I hear rubble, I think like concrete.
Cat shit.
Like I don't know.
I was thinking like Barney Rubble and the Flintstones and the rock quarry. Like
like rocks and shit. Like you just got in a bunch pile of dirt and rocks, or you talk about like, with a bunch of wire and shit. This is Southern talk, dude. This is rubble.
Jeffrey Hall has a custom modified ADPRS that works with his OEM buttons and stuff in his Mazda. One of like 2 ever done. Like they went in like modified the actual hardware of the 80. Super custom stuff. It is so old at this point that he's considering taking it out to do a modern radio so we can finally have like high quality Bluetooth streaming or the ability to plug his phone into his radio. All
people
kind of
don't
stuff.
do that. A lot of people don't plug their phones into head units. I don't understand that. Like, it frustrates me. Like, that's like.
Do they still make new ADPRSs now, or no?
No, they stopped making that a while ago.
You gotta find them.
6 years ago, 7 years ago.
All right, yeah.
Why is the JL Audio Bluetooth box that's advertised? No, so the JL Audio Bluetooth device, you cannot. There's two. There is one where you can stream music to, and its RCA is out. That works. But the other Bluetooth piece for like the VXI amps and that stuff, you cannot stream music to it. Ask me how I know. I bought it and I can't stream music to it.
How far away in the future do you think it is till there's no RCAs anymore and it's just signal goes through Bluetooth to the amp?
I hope never.
It's going to happen soon.
Always going to be such a chance for interference. I think optical is going to be the next big. I mean, it's already a thing. But it's going to be more prevalent.
Yeah, we're going to have amps that have optical in.
Yeah, optical straight into the amp.
Or like almost all amps will have a DSP built into them.
I mean, I give it 10 years, and I bet you most amps come with at least a basic DSP of some kind, or at least, like Bobby said, optical in, so have a nice high quality DAC built in.
Probably both.
Yeah,
probably both.
Yeah. Huh.
Yep.
Well, do we want the built-in DSPs though? Because I feel like you kind of want your DSP to like be it's got to be a good piece of equipment. I mean, if
it depends.
Unless it's a really good amp, like I mean, how much money is an amp company going to really spend on a DSP that goes? I mean, I don't know.
Well, it depends. So, like, if you look at the VXI amps, like the JL ones I have a 8-channel amp with a built-in full processor. Then I have a 1-channel amp with the same full processor in it. So, using those amps and the VXI hub, I can do an infinite number of wiring options, RCA outputs, inputs, and all that. And it's pretty handy to have one in every amp. It's not cheap, but it's really handy.
I see. So if you're just running a DSP separate to an bunch of amps with no DSPs, you have less capability. That's what you're saying?
No,
versus amp DSP and a DSP?
I mean, in the end,
it's not as user-friendly.
You have less capability because I just have more DSPs. Like right now I have 2. I'm going to end up, I think, with the plan is 4 amps. All will have their full independent DSP, but I'll be able to control it all from one central location because of because how nice the software is. Basically.
Yeah, it's getting technical.
I ran optical in my truck and lost all my truck notifications. That makes sense. You used the Zen piece. Plugs in like the back of the radio, gives you optical output, or the Packmates one.
The Zen piece will keep all that shit typically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
More than 8 channels need to run 2 DSPs. So no, I could have got away with just the 1 amp with the single DSP and ran a dumb amp because that amp had RCA outputs that are full DSP control. So I could have just ran to that. But I was already in there. I was already spending too damn much money on this amp. I was like, I'm not going to slack off on the next one. But they make up to 12-channel DSPs that I've seen.
Well, Chris, I got a question for you. When you are preparing to rebase a track, do you have a bass line in mind that you try to go with, or do you try to kind of go with what the original bass line was and add your own kind of twist to it, or does it just depend on what the song is?
It's all variables. Well, yeah, it's go to the key of the song. You know, you always want to stay in the key of the song, so you kind of have to follow this. Usually the same pattern. It could be, instead of like let's say A1, it could be A0, an octave below it, but still be in the same key and sound completely more lower. Obviously, a full octave lower, and just kind of maybe instead of stepping completely up in certain sections, like I drop back down. Like it just all works together, and like I produce every bass line for every song. It's not like I'm sampling something from somewhere and dropping it in and using a sampler to retune it or whatever. Like, no, it's all played out 88 key synth into a MIDI into the thing, and I just kind of quantize everything and then engineer it, produce it, mix it, just put it all back together. But it's all created each song in custom. Same as the kick drums, everything else I do to it. Like it's a procedure, I don't.
So like, are you like erasing the bass line? Or erasing basically before you go in, so it's blank, and then you're adding
Yeah, I'm deleting. I keep it kind of secret, but it's actually a lot more than people think. Let's say I actually delete more than 250, and there's a certain way I kind of do certain things in that range, especially because it could be problematic, especially for alignment. Like Andrew would know. Fucking sorry, meant to call you Drew. I'm like slightly high in CBD, but I already lost my train of thought. Fuck. What was the question again?
You were talking about. Now I lost my train of thought.
God,
no, you're talking about you erased the baseline.
Yes. So I removed
250 hertz.
Everything.
I'm just joking, dude.
More than that. Usually more than that, but like I reproduce what I delete. I deconstruct what I can reconstruct. If I can't reconstruct it, I won't do it, or whatever it may be. But like that, you need to know like music theory. You need to understand how to produce a song before you even start doing this kind of work, because you need to know how to take something that's already put together, break it down in its basic form, and then rebuild it back up the way you want. So there's a lot more to it than people. I think, I just slapped a fucking 80 hertz tone or whatever, test tone, a 30 hertz here and whatever. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. That's way too neutral and like too digitally sonic, and it's just not right. It's dissonant. It's just not. It's not an 808. It's not bass. It's just a sine wave. But most bass isn't a sine wave. There's a lot of uppers and lower harmonics added to it, and a lot of distortion. The good distortion. There's two different types of distortion, but you just blend it all together and make it sound like the original in a sense, but in a better leveled situation for everything, for bigger stereos, So I'm taking something I'm like producing digitally, like most things are produced digitally nowadays. A lot of things are. But you want to make it sound analog again, not sound so fake, which is hard to do, especially in sub bass that is produced with synthesizers. Like they're not even technically real. It's like hard to get rid of that digitalness and kind of make it sound more analog and warmth again, kind of blend back into a track, especially something that might not or not supposed to have that kind of serious bass in it. Like it could be some like anything without bass. Like I'm losing my mind here just thinking. I just like songs that like came out in like 30 years ago that had very little to no bass in a song, and like then you gotta recreate the upper harmonics to that as well, and like just get really high in the frequency band to make it sound like it was there to begin with when it really wasn't. Like there's a lot to it. So it's hard for me to explain without making it going over the top and going over people's heads.
No, it totally makes sense.
It's easier for me to show somebody how I do it than actually like talk about it.
Shit, you could show us if you wanted to. We could probably show your screen.
I can't. Well, this is a different machine. I got two machines in front of me. So there's another machine down here. That's my new machine. This is my old machine that no longer has the software and anything on it. It's just for basic stuff now. My big machine down here, my Mac Studio, is where everything's at, and that we're using the old computer. Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. There's a question for you there, Chris.
I'm gonna hop in and be like, I would like the bass in mono for what he's doing. There's no need for left and right bass for these systems.
Actually, no, yeah, there is. It's actually designed in stereo. I'm sure that's what you do, because that's the problem. You have to because everything's in stereo. But the thing is, well, your mono block amplifiers take that signal on the input and put them together, and it's just mono regardless. I do stereo actually designing on sub bass. A lot of people say I'm stupid, but all producers do this, and it's a really good way to get a lot of width, a lot of modulation, and get a fatter 808, and fatter, deeper sound that mixes together. You can use flangers and all this and that, and fucking time delay and all this cool stuff to band up the fucking signal and just make it just deeper and muddier in the good sense. The fucking the width of it, you get the left to right. So if you design a system, which you can do this, a lot of people do this, where your substage is actually in stereo, so you have a left and right, and you have a class A/B. You'll get more of that effect from what I produce. But put it in mono, you still get the right and left, which is more or less just phasing with a LFO on it, so everything kind of wobbles with it. So you got like a 1 hertz runner with like 30 hertz on top of that, and they're kind of just oscillating together, and you get these cool effects. I do this with a lot of stuff. Most people don't even appreciate that, but that comes through and rings through with the mid-range into your door speakers and stuff intentionally, and that helps making the track sound wider, fatter, just better, and it's cooler, and it just modulates with that low sub bass along with that mid bass, and it just creates this whole cool stereo effect.
Nice.
Do the SQ cars have stereo subsystems typically?
I would assume so. I would, if I was a designer for a real SQ like that, I would 100%.
So the issue becomes space for left, right.
You want a farther spaced apart, right?
So there's like Chris's Civic. That's left, right sub. But the subs are right next to each other, 4 feet behind you. Can you hear left, right at that point?
You can with the way it's designed because you got a left and right signal that's could be oscillating at different rates. Yeah. You get that effect, and your car's going to feel it. And you're going to feel it. You're going to hear it.
Like Chris Civic, you're dead center, and the subs are on your left and your right. Like they are that way.
But when I mix them, they get out. They get out.
Yeah, but like sitting in like my truck or Jeffrey's car, like he can do left and right sub off his back subs, but they're both to the right of you, and the bass is so omnidirectional. I don't know if you could hear,
but you get more depth and perception from it being in stereo than mono when it's being pushed to the areas to the subs. Even though they're in the wrong position, you're getting a more wider sounding, different sound from the sub bass. Utilizing at least what I do.
So one being more to your right is going to make it sound right left.
It's just it's just going to be.
That's what I think. I know that they're both behind me and to my right, 4 feet away. Yeah. But if the one that's more right is going to sound like the right, and the one that's on the left, even though it's to my right, is going to sound left.
But preferably spaced apart would be preferred, obviously. Yeah. And they require a lot of space.
Matt Mergenthal's in here, so maybe he can answer. Matt, how often do you see true stereo left-right subs in cars?
And Chris, when you're editing these songs or remixing them or whatever you want to call it, so you're not just messing with mid bass and bass. Are you messing with basically everything, or
yes,
do you keep it a certain frequency down? Okay, you're basically retuning the whole track.
You kind of have to when you delete all the stuff you like, even the little portion of the whole rest of the image, the whole rest of the song. You delete that little bit, you got to rework the whole thing, especially when you're designing that sub bass frequency, that low frequency stuff down there at a different level. Yeah. So you kind of have to come back and rematch that. Then you got to blend those two together and try to make it sound all analog and back to true, and which is really hard to do. And then you got to master that, obviously.
So Dave has asked, I think twice now, using Pro Tools or something else.
Logic and Pro Tools, I usually stay in Logic. I have a really, really good workflow with that, and I use Wave plugins and Slate Digital. Those are my two favorites. Plus, Logic has some very, very solid stock plugins you could do a lot with. Like, a very powerful tool.
Everyone can have their favorite program. Like Bobby loves rendering stuff in Fusion. I like SketchUp because, like you said, I have a super good workflow in at this point. It
comes down to user, yes.
I have years in SketchUp, and everyone says I could figure out Fusion quick, and I'm sure I could.
Right.
But how long would it take me to get as proficient with SketchUp as I would be?
A couple years, I would assume, just to get that workflow.
Fast. Well, if you were making engineering files that you were sending in and cutting components and things of that nature, it'd be necessary. Because you can't really do all that with SketchUp. And I know they say that there's like plug-in-y stuff and all that, but I've never met anybody that used that shit. So in any kind of real world professional
in the engineering side,
parts, for sure. But I need to design these parts. Like almost every single thing I render turns into a part where you're giving guys these things and they're taking their saw and cutting these parts. So SketchUp is likely more efficient.
So overall, I can do individual.
Probably a better tool for it.
I'll render
just
something
making a nice blueprint.
In the other way that I can do it, I just don't because of speed. I'll render the other way and send it to you, and you can tell me if it is what you'd be looking for, like component wise. Because you're so used to CNC stuff now, you just tell me no, that's not right, or that's horrible, Drew. What are you doing? Stop it! You crashed my computer.
I know I crashed the shit out of your computer when I sent you that box. You were like, I'm going to need to upgrade my computer. I was like, sorry.
This is before, this is like earlier this year. It might have been late last year even. But he sent me the rendering for the Raiden with all 12 amps in the rendering, all the wire and everything. Boy, I loaded on my old PC.
Fucking down.
Bro, it took like 10 minutes for my computer to function
just to
properly.
Get its shit back together, yeah.
The cat that we built had left and right subwoofer and separate amplifiers with separate DSP control. So we were yeah.
I bet
but how often do you see it? That's like, yes, JL Audio did it, but how often?
It's the right way to go about, just like your home theater.
I agree.
It's hard to do in a car, obviously, because it's so small.
That's the struggle.
All the shit, all the reflections and
like you would have to do actual subs in the front doors, like Blake mentioned.
Yeah.
Who was it?
That is an idea I have for
Nick Apicilla did it in
my
that Lambo.
Sprinter van, Drew, is I'm thinking subs way down low in the doors of my Sprinter. Probably an Alpha 8 sealed.
That'd be hot. No, because it'll work too. I'm kind of curious. I'm curious as to how high
I can do the stereo, and then I can also have the additional whatever sub I put. The big sub that goes in the back whenever I.
How high can they play?
What's that?
How high can they play?
An Alpha 8?
Yeah,
not very high. I mean, a sealed box probably do pretty fucking well.
I'm thinking like could it do sub and up into the mid bass 400 range?
Yeah, probably. I haven't done that yet, but I bet in a sealed box they'd be great.
Yeah, that way you don't need to do a sub and
they'd probably do it better in a larger box and lower power. I feel like the more power you feed them, then
the high notes would tear them up.
Yeah, it would start sounding like ass.
Have you ever edited in Reasons? I guess he's asking Chris. I've never heard of Reasons.
That is so. I couldn't give you an. I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to.
What's up, girls?
Hey, Chris. Is your app? I haven't used it. I need to download it. Is it separated by genre, or how do you have it separated?
You can break it down with a search function. Yeah, you can break it down with a search function in library. Actually, Drew could probably do a screenshot screen capture from his computer with the app. But
and how much music, how many different genres of music are you tapping from? Most of it's going to be hip hop. I understand that, but there's so much other music out there that I know a lot of us bass heads listen to, and we'd love to have rebased stuff. I know we could put requests in there, but you mostly just dabble in hip hop, or
I do a lot of hip hop and R&B, but I actually have quite a few different genres. Drew can even show up if you could bring it to the screen. You can even see you can select what do you want to call it, a filter icon in the corner of the screen in library tab, and you can filter by genre that way. And so there's a difference.
This is the
here we go,
website version, but the mobile version works.
It looks the same too.
Yep. So
this is also tablet form. This is how it would look on a tablet.
Oh, really? I haven't tried a tablet.
Yeah, it's a big screen.
Bottom, you get packs, so you get your individual packs on the left.
Right, where you could download the actual full file. All the magic is in the library tab, where you can click.
So, Drew, hang on, before you go too far, Drew, when you were saying that you downloaded to your local file and played through Spotify, we'll go back. Is that you just download the whole pack like that, or what do you do?
No, so the way I do it is I'll pull the app up on my phone. I'll do it for this last track because you can make favorites. You can add favorites. Favorites. So say Hypnotize. You go to the track.
Okay.
Hypnotize. Trying to blur it.
Inside the library tab. Yep.
There's 3 buttons. Download. It downloads to my phone.
Okay, and then you just go to Spotify and
Spotify will automatically find it if you have it set to do that.
Right, because you're using it as a media player through the media files you
library,
have on your phone. Right.
Local files is number 1.
Right, so you use it as a media player on your phone. That's beautiful. You can do it that way.
Sweet. Okay.
Let's wait for it. Let's get see what intro he's got on this one.
God damn it! God damn it!
It's gonna be a good one.
Some stupid shit. It's gonna be in somewhere in the next 10 seconds.
I knew which one it was.
Rusticals.
And
so funny.
Let's go.
That Hypnotized track.
You can also play it in the app too.
Put Steven's truck into limp mode on the interstate in Baton Rouge. I had to pull over and cycle the truck because I just lost all power. I was going to the mall or something, and I'm playing it. I'm I know the tracks. I'm all right, I'm gonna get on the power. Turn it up. I'm ooh, and then all of a sudden the truck just no power. I'm did I put it in neutral? So I'm no, it's in drive. But
you just put all the sauce to
hit the gas, nothing. I pull over, the truck's just
yeah. I've had that happen.
You'll get that.
Mine was just a stupid ass fuse, but yeah.
So
okay, get back to the app here. So show me how you give me the genre. Say I don't want
the genre.
Or genre, whatever you want to call it.
I'm not sure if it sorts by genre.
Yes, it does. Okay, look at the filter in the upper right hand corner.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, that's the filter.
Yes.
So that'll. So if you. So hold on now. So if you click, if you click one of those. You click one of those, and then you go back to library. It only shows that genre. And
I didn't know that.
Right, and then you can also search the genre make in the search bar as well. But that, so when you want to get back out of this, you click one of those. Right, but here's another thing: is go back into the filter, and click on any genre. It doesn't matter. Just click on one of them. Right now, click one of those. Any song doesn't matter. Now heart it, the heart tab on favorite right there. Now, go to the favorites tab. Okay. Now, if you leave your filter, that's gone because it's also favorited by filter.
Ooh,
so if you click, so click the filter again and click all, and then it should not be there technically because it's going to show you everything that you have favorited instead of just that. So there's many ways to kind of a lot of people don't understand. Like it's very simple. It's very laid out. I made it as simple as possible so you can't get confused because a lot of people don't
I had no idea. How to use things, I had no idea.
I'll tell you what, the only time I'm ever on the app is like the night before an event that I'm going to be demoing all day long. And I'm usually shit-faced. And I'm like beep-a-boppling and I'm downloading and I'm finding shit. And I'm like, what's a good song? And I'm like, oh, and then I don't know what half the names of the songs are. And I'm like listening to weird shit for 10 seconds. And I'm like, oh, it's a fucking nightmare.
Can you make
the app is designed for pretty much like demo usage and be like, the weekend before, the week or night of before show. We got to get some more music, get on the app, download a bunch of stuff. Right. We're good to go. We kind of
I need to work out something. I did something wrong and Spotify doesn't find the file on my phone where the music is. So I need to put the Rusticals music into the music folder on my.
It should find any music.
Any music that's on my phone. I don't know. Maybe there's a setting thing or something.
What phone are you using?
iPhone. Fucking.
It's probably because it's an iPhone limitation for that app, for that Spotify. Yeah. Because everything on Apple is different and it's all designed differently than an Android-based phone. Everything is, even Facebook is designed.
Do you use an Android?
Apple.
Yeah, so do I.
I have an iPad. I'll play with it. I'll download the app on my iPad and play with it.
Except for my phone. Does it have the ability to make a playlist too on the app? Or
yes, the favorites is you make so you pick let's say you pick your best 100 tracks you love, and then you can find them really easily in there.
But you can't make a certain playlist folder like.
No, but you could in Spotify, I think. Yeah, you can in Spotify. So say you get them all in Spotify, you can then separate into local files that way. Oh, Bobby, what you can do, Bobby, what you can do, you can download them to your computer, set your computer up with local files, and then once your phone and computer are on the same Wi-Fi network or internet connection, your phone will sync the downloaded tracks on your computer to your phone for Spotify downloads.
iTunes does the same thing too for an iTunes player.
That'll do it too.
Right. Yeah, because when I was all excited, what was it, last week or whatever, and you told me that, and I went in and I bobbled around and I'd found all of the music that I had bought from iTunes fucking 15 years ago. And I had all that shit in there. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I was like, where the fuck is my Rusticals shit? God damn it. So I couldn't find it.
You must have talked Steve Mead into buying that, by the way, didn't you?
What's that?
The app.
I haven't talked Steve into shit. I just maybe I did.
I thought I was like, oh, Gately must have told you about me because I'm guessing he had no idea, but he bought the app. I was like, that's
Steve knows a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think maybe if he asked me where are you getting all the music you play, I would have for sure said I use only Rusticals because that there's a handful of regular tracks that I like to play, and some of the the Raiden plays any music really well, and so there's all kinds of stuff. Sometimes I'll go, here's this Post Malone song, the regular one, and here's the Rustical version of it, and it's like that's kind of cool to see how awesome it is on both ends of that. So
there you go, Chris. Do you use headphones for mixing or speakers?
So I use a couple different references. All the work originally starts off with these, these are the God damn it, audio.
So I was Audio Technica somethings.
Yeah, Audio Technica 50Xs, I believe, and then
I can just tell.
Some Sony HD6Xs, and then for different reference points, and then I also have these fucking Force Tech fucking bass cannons from hell. Jesus fucking Christ, fucking dog shit. But I like my Audio Technicas because they're very, very flat. And then I also slightly EQ'd on the computer to make it as flat as possible, obviously, for doing the work I do. But I also have monitors. I have the, I actually, strangely enough, kind of like them the way I'm set up, is the KRK 10-inch systems, the G whatever series, the 3-ways in the studio here.
His monitors will like bounce stuff on his desk. Like they're
my fucking Christ!
They're
dude.
loud, dude. He sent me some videos of
the sheetrock flexes, for Christ's sakes, and I'm like, oh god. And I'm like, I'm not just talking low free. I mean, it's a 3-way. It sounds very well, and I have them like literally 7 feet apart. And then when I go back to listen, obviously I push myself back, so I'm in the fucking right there, and I bring myself back a couple more feet because they're pretty far back. And I use that for, so I reference between a lot of points, and I'll even get in a vehicle, a couple different, whatever. I do this not all the time, but usually on a monthly basis, just to make sure I'm like making sure everything's copacetic, and I just keep
make sure you're
checking
not
myself.
tripping.
Right, because you do it so long, everything sounds whatever. You do it every day, all day long. It's fucking your head just gets so like used to it, you don't even know what you're doing anymore. It's just like ear exhaustion, It's kind of sucks.
So Steven asked, best way to get wired connection to an iPad with USB-C.
100%.
No, but what's the best way to do it? Because there's no.
Oh. Well, my wait, no, my
get an Audison.
Wait, what was the question?
Yeah, the Audison gizmo you said, huh?
What was the
best way to get a wired connection between an iPad with USB-C or a laptop to a car DSP?
Oh.
The easiest way is just to plug it in with aux cable.
No, you get yourself a fucking adapt for a computer. You get yourself an interface to fucking send that out. That's what I would do. Buy yourself an interface for your computer, so that interface plugs into computer Type C, and then you can have that output
USB
to XLR to RCAs, or you could have that
or optical out of the DAC.
Right, whatever DAC you get, some of them even have RCA outs as well,
cool.
And then you could send that signal right out.
There's a bunch of ways to go about it. None of them are that great without a head unit. Head unit just makes life easy. That's why I still have one.
Right, I'm still using my
USB-C
iPad Mini for
into the Kenwood reference, straight to the back.
Right. I got a couple of questions for you, Chris. So, for somebody that wants to basically, because you have so much music, if they want to exclusively just play all your stuff, where do you recommend them setting their gains at? Just to say they go to SMD's side and they use his test tones. He's got the 0, the 5, the 10. I think he even has that 15 for SPL nuts. Okay. But like for your music, where would you recommend people? I mean, I've always set it -10, and then I play it by ear, because my music's never really been consistent. It's always been all over the place. But what do you recommend people setting their gains at for playing your stuff?
-5 dB. -5 for the sub bass. And even the rest of the track, -5, because it's all like the original track I bumped down anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5 dB just from anything that I don't like cut off for the sub bass right away. I just bring it down. And then I remaster EQ it, but I keep it down and I bring the bass up. So it sounds like it's more bass booted and a little bit heavier intentionally, make that more, perceived sound. But yeah, I across the board, I keep it pretty level. Just play with it a little bit, you'll be able to tell right away.
Okay, so set it -5. Okay. Yeah, my other question was, does the app have tones on it for the competition guys?
Yes, 0 dB tones.
It has 0 dB tones, and it also has -5 tones at -5 dB as well for setting gain. So I have them even at 30 hertz, 40 hertz, 50 hertz. So you can kind of set them close to where your peak is, and just throw it on there and be -5 at whatever full tilt, whatever clean full tilt is on every knob down the line, and then set it for -5.
Okay, so that's awesome. So the test, you include the -5 so people can actually set their system up to play your music. That's really perfect.
So Flexin, what I do is you can go to the website for the app, and it'll, as long as you're logged in, you can log in. It'll just pull up the full app basically just on a website, and I just use it from like Chrome, and it downloads the track straight to my PC.
Right. From personal use. Yep.
Drew, I'll call you at some point tomorrow afternoon or something and have you help me figure out how to get my phone linked to my computer at the shop, and I'll get the app going, and we'll get all my shit on my phone. And then that way it'd be way better.
Make life super easy.
When I'm operating the Raiden, I have to like be in the little files. It'd be way better if I was in Spotify. That'd be way cool. Yeah.
Is Mark asking like what he's talking about, like the -5 stuff? Is that what his question is overlap? But what exactly did we talk about that he's talking about?
Setting gains with negative dB over
the -5. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, you could Drew technically use a 0 dB tone and then lap it down 5 dB and still be set technically -5. Isn't that overlap just a pull
I'm
down
not sure
from?
What he's asking, but
you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you're just
he asked earlier, what does overlap mean? So
you're just pulling it down some more. You're pulling the signal down some more.
So you're just going from the set point of 0 dB, which is the loudest it can be recorded.
Right, digitally.
Digitally can be recorded. -5 is 5 dB quieter. So if you want that to be your loudest point, you have to set with a -5 dB overlap over the 0 dB high point. I think that's explained.
I have an easy way to explain. What I think he's asking. So let's take 0 dB is where it's recorded at, and you want to set your gains at -5. So you're setting your amp with use volume. Okay, volume 30 versus 40. 40 is 0 dB, 30 is -5. So you're setting your amps at 30, and then when you play music, you still have that extra 10 clicks basically of extra volume, which would technically be clipping, but it gets louder. I mean, maybe that wasn't easy. It made sense in my head, but you set the gains at a quieter spot so that when you play like 0 dB music, it is louder. I guess it's more like for SPL reasons.
So kind of like Blake said here, music is recorded lower than 0. -5, -10, -15. It's recorded lower.
Well, once it's commercially available music, they push it right to the ceiling, loudness wars.
Yeah.
Literally everything plus the sub bass is like at 0 or even positive.
We may not be able to explain it that well, but our guest coming up in a few weeks will probably explain it damn well. If I had to assume.
I wonder if that was more because
we were setting our gains on the show. Let him just melt our brains.
Those guys make us tired. Like so smart. Like I have a lot of conversations with John Nolte when he's explaining how things work, and actually he'd be great at explaining all that shit too. And like
he's probably
20 minutes goes by. Right 20 minutes goes by, and I'm like exhausted. I'm like, it's not boring,
but it's Jesus,
more information. Like remember the movie Johnny Mnemonic? Remember he would download. He'd have to bite something, and all the information would pile in, and he would have it stored in there, and it was leaking because it was radioactive and shit. Anyway, he was a walking hard drive, and he had too much secret information in his head. Having conversations with John Nolte or Jacob Fuller got me a little bit like that. We were talking about how subwoofers work at the Kicker seminar that day, and I was like, so catch up, pay attention, you're learning things. It's like it's a lot to happen.
I'm gonna bring that back up. So, Mark, no, you don't want things at 0 dB. That is all. Like music that's a 0 is
you want headroom
loud with
0
headroom.
I wouldn't say for shit.
For like
the word shit is the wrong thing. You're setting it up so that
it's just dynamic.
So that the stuff that's recorded really quiet can still be loud, and the rest of the stuff that's not recorded quietly, you need to be able to control your knob because everything's just recorded.
In the end, you can set your gains however you want. You're gonna run into tracks unless you exclusively play DJ Rascals. You will run into tracks that are recorded 1 or 2 dB louder, levels. And then boom, you're into clipping. You're going to turn down
because you set your system for one thing. It's not good for everything. There really is no sweet spot, but I think -5 is a good way to start.
Yeah,
I have customers that are like, look, I need to be able to turn it all the way up without blowing it up, and I'm like, okay, well then 80% of the music that you're going to listen to, it could be way fucking louder. And they're like, well, what do I do? And I'm like, don't listen to distortion. Like
you got to pay attention. You have to pay attention to your shit.
You have you have to operate your audio system. It's your responsibility not to melt speakers.
In the car audio community, it really just comes down to if you're going to play rebased music, you might as well set for -5. If you're going to play anything else, you might as well set for 0, because everything's at 0. Or most closely,
or just know that you go, okay, I'm listening to regular musical recordings, and I only go to volume level 26 or 27 versus when I play Rusticals, I'm at 30 or 32.
Yeah, but if you go down in volume, you actually leave more on the table than you even realize because the gains are not right. The signal in is not right.
Why was -10 such a? It seemed like such a recommended thing to set gains at.
I never recommended it. I hear a few people say it. I don't fucking know where people come up with their bullshit.
Well, I think Mead was setting everything.
It seems like all I hear -10. Like I've always said -10. Everybody I know pretty much sets a -10. I mean, we all compete.
It's louder.
Well, here's the thing: it's
louder. That's it.
No.
Well, for certain music it is, but you have to be in control of your. I mean, it gives you when you set a -10, it gives you more headroom, but you have to be more cognizant of what your system's doing, and you have to hear that. You have to hear it.
Well, it leaves you -10 decibels quiet from true 0. You know,
Matt, you don't say that.
There's certain points
where
the song's at 0, you're 10 decibels quiet. You know, from what the output could be of that particular whatever's going on.
I see. So -5 kind of puts you more in the middle, I guess.
Actually, yeah. Especially if you're going to listen to a lot of rebase stuff, even if fucking commercial music, -5, yeah, you're going to be a little bit down, whatever, big deal. At least you're not going to fucking kill everything.
I mean, yeah, you could. Well, you could, but I mean, I set my gain to like in the Tahoe. I just set it to.
You know how I set my
gains to a known clean voltage, and I just let it ride.
You know how I set my gains in my
wide
vehicles?
Open.
Here's how I do it. There's 2 methods. One, I set it right with, I can do an O-scope and shit like that in voltage. And then the other is, I crack that bitch until I hear that fucker hum. And then I'm like, all right, we're about 5% dirty. And I'd be full tilt on,
Until I hear MOSFETs making noise,
but
we got more power.
Right. But here's the thing is, you also see it on the on the clamp, on the meter too. You also see it. Like, you'll go too far into clipping, and it makes a lot of noise, and your score circuit starts going down. So you keep backing off, you find that sweet spot. You get yourself one good time.
You tune it with an SPL meter.
Yeah,
you just turn the gain up until it peaks, and then you pull it back.
If you're going loud, if you're competing like I used to too, like that's the way to fucking go. And then how hard to run the music, you just back it off.
Then whatever the fuck makes the score higher. I don't know if like right when it's burping, you kick the fucking driver door or whatever the hell you got to do. It works better, and I close my wiener in the door, send it. Whatever you got to do to get that.
I don't got far enough for that.
I wouldn't recommend it.
So I started something. I'm gonna circle back to this real quick, and then we can continue past it. But it was just the Bluetooth thing. I don't know iPhone and iPad's Bluetooth streaming capabilities. I know that iPhone and iPad will.
What's the point? Nothing. What's the point?
Android
no music goes past 16-bit most of the time, let alone 24.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go looking for it. Like,
it's
Apple high res lossless. Some of it is super high res, but you have to be plugged in.
I can tell you this: the hearing difference is going to be so minute.
You have to have a system capable of resolving such a difference.
That resolution.
That's the key.
Right.
Like, if you get into like a regular,
like most of us, all of us don't need it. Straight up, 16-bit, whatever's good enough.
I do. I got a truck good enough.
Yeah, you think you do. You're still learning, my guy.
I know I do. I know that truck's good enough. I've been told.
I know it's good.
I've been told that. Like my Tahoe, no difference. You could play the highest res track in the planet in my Tahoe currently, and you'd be like, that sounds like YouTube music. Don't sound no different. I know. Don't sound no different.
That's good. That means you're doing something right.
Yeah. But once Bobby gets me some doors and pillars, boy, y'all better watch out.
Bobby needs to do my doors for my Jeep too.
Bobby, actually, he does. That was a conversation we had last week.
Yes, yeah. Bobby, I need something
because he wants
have the equipment, the gear, and everything. Yeah,
sealed door panels because he's doing a loud build. Regular panels break speakers.
I mean, I expect to change out these 8-inch cones all the day long. The second I close that door, you kiss those cones goodbye. I'll be replacing Neopro 8s all week long.
If we build them as enclosures, you'll probably be all right.
You doing Neopro version 3?
Do you guys really think that's true? Like 170 plus dB build that mid cones are going to hold up indoors.
They never do. They never do.
Chris, are you doing the carbons, like the NeoPro V3s?
Yeah, I got them sitting right here.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I'm telling you.
Hold on. My last Jeep did a 70 in the kick. This one's literally fucking 4 times the power and like double the fucking cone area. You kiss those some bitches goodbye.
Smooth ass 63.
Because I mean, Hunter said that a little
that thing
is
going to be light. It's going to come out the gate into a 63, and everything you do to it is going to bring it down to dB, and then you're like, "Fuck!" and you put it back. No,
I'll throw it in Lake Minnetonka.
Like,
fuck that shit.
Numbers, I'm sure.
If it does throw it in the lake.
Yeah, no, seriously. If it does a 63, I'm driving it to Lake Minnetonka and I'm flooding the son bitch. I'm leaving it there. I don't give a fuck.
You're gonna bathe yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
Yeah.
Have you done pillars on 11 to
Minnesota,
16?
baby. Prince.
Shit, a few months ago, we went and saw a Prince cover band here. And
how was it?
Fuck that shit.
Oh, my God. We had such a good time.
Yeah, but
they
it's
were
not
fucking
real.
Awesome. Well, I mean, he's fucking dead, dude. So
yeah, I know. You can't beat it.
Have y'all seen that guy on YouTube who sounds just like his ass?
No.
It wasn't Prince. Queen. It's Queen.
Oh,
Bobby, have you done pillars on 11 to 16 Super Duty? So 11 to 16 Super Duty should be the same as the F-150s also. And if that's the case, then
it's different. It's different. No, but I haven't. But it is pretty reasonable. You don't do a complete pillar. The best thing to do is build like a pillar pod. So it's possible, but I need one of those trucks to do it.
And you got to bring your money.
Yeah, you definitely got to bring your money. That's for sure.
Dude, I've been telling people
just bring the pods
so much. I've been telling people that so pillars, they're like, oh, I want y'all to do something, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, bring your money. They're like, oh, what do you mean? Bring your money. Well, how much? It doesn't matter. Bring your money.
Bobby, aren't you?
Bobby is doing
something. I was gonna say you already are.
Yeah, I'm doing the doors. They were supposed to bring the hearse to me on Saturday, but where the trailer is that they need to use to haul the hearse is flooded as fuck already, and the storm isn't here yet.
Dude, that is sketchy sounding.
That hearse is gonna be gnar.
I gotta go to Springfield, Illinois. You know, I've never been there.
I'm gonna see what the weather looks like. But what did he hasn't shown any sort of sub configuration in that hearse yet, right? Because originally what he put in there, he cut it out, right?
Yeah, that was pretty super duper poorly engineered. I was telling him when I was like, I don't know, that seems kind of like all kinds of issues here. I don't like it. And then when he said how much power he was planning to run, the guy that designed it was like, oh, it's not going to work. It was like, oh, because he upped the power by 30%. Now suddenly it's not going to work. I don't know. Anyway, I think he has a layout that he's planning to do, but I don't remember what that looks like. I don't think he's shared it, not because he's been hiding anything, but I think just because he only really shares things that are put together. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
What was wrong with the layout before? I thought it was just going to be a like a flat plane wall.
No,
right?
it had like 4 and then 4 coming down, and the bottom 2 were like really close to the floor. And it looked like, I was like, look, man, I'm not really one for pointing out things that I call a loading issue, because I think a lot of times people are like, oh, it's got a loading issue right there. And it's usually that's bullshit.
But right there, my guy.
But that right there, if there is anything that would be a loading issue, that's one right there.
Exactly.
And yeah. Like, like these subs got, 21 inches, and this one's got an inch in front of that fucking cone. Like,
That's why whenever I'll do band passes where the baffles are angled, and I'll angle the wall behind them, and they're like, why are you doing that? That's extra work. Loading, bro. Because of that reason. Yep. LaGuardia 3-way set. All right, big money. Boy say can't hide money.
Yeah. So he
also said long drive. How long?
What's a long drive?
I mean,
what do you consider long? Is there a 2 in the hours? If not, it's not long, bro.
2? Fuck, that's like in the backyard still. What
a 2. Like it starts with a 2 and there's a second digit.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
No, bro, Chris, where you live, 2 hours, you're not even gonna get out of your county.
Fuck right.
Out of your driveway, when it's frozen as it is right now.
Okay, boy got 7 feet of snow. 2 hour drive is the front yard.
We don't get 7 feet of snow like Buffalo. We don't have lake effect. I'm not up on the Great Lakes. But dude, we got like almost 20 inches in some spots here yesterday and today.
Well, if you're not going to bring it to Bobby.
I'm going to bring it to Bobby. What are you
you're talking about this guy.
Oh.
Well, I might be able to get a local truck that has the same pillars, so I would need money.
So you can probably just go to the yard and buy a set of pillars too.
Yeah,
I can't build pillars without a vehicle.
Yeah,
the guys that build doors that don't have vehicles to build on,
wild,
that are amazing.
That's like Dijon in Russia.
Yeah, Chubar, bro, he is outstanding.
Okay, but they're not always a direct fit. They often require some modification.
Yeah, but I mean, but his success rate and what he's doing. And I mean, he's fucking. He gets a thumbs up from me, bro. I fucking love that. He works clean. It's amazing. I found him years ago, and I was just studying his page. And Josh Foles, who is one of my buddies that has moved actually to South Carolina, he was the first one to reach out to him and be like, "Hey, man, I want you to build door panels for me. I'm all the way in Sacramento, California," and they figured it out. The logistics and shipping wasn't very expensive at all.
Yeah,
and
he reached out to me and gave me a price, and I was like, "That seems."
Is that who built Jeremy Mott's doors?
Yes,
I probably
yeah,
but I mean, he does some really nice doors.
Yeah. But like I said, does good work, but that's not what I want. Right. I want proper sealed enclosure. I want that shit to be. Yeah, I want Bobby to kiss it himself.
Sealed enclosure discussion. Mine are going to be sealed. They got the steel box I already have welded into my door.
Yeah,
and then I'm just going to stack fab on that. Can it be too big for the mids and highs? Because it's going to be pretty big once we stack fab.
Technically, yeah, but you're not going to be able to get too big.
I'd
say my doors are probably like pushing 2 cubes.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get too big.
Fucking speakers or whatever it is.
You would have to be like 20.
They're small.
Well, the thing about most mid ranges is free air.
Right. You're giving it more control and more fucking.
So yeah, no matter what you do, you're improving.
That's gonna make it better. They're gonna sound warmer.
Yeah, the only thing that we'll do is I will send you a link to black hole tiles, and you're gonna want to do a checkerboard pattern in the back of that door just to eat up back wave reflection. That way you don't run into like a cancellation issue.
Yeah, that's important.
Because your metal. Let me guess, the box is flat on the backside.
Yeah, it's just metal.
So you could run into the issue where the speaker plays, and then the direct reflection. There's a cancellation issue, so I'll send you information on how to help correct that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like you won't notice it, but there'll be like a big dip.
Oh, you'll fucking notice it.
I mean, it's hard to hear.
Notice it.
It's hard to hear.
Okay, I'll take that back. It's noticeable for me.
Yeah, so but I mean, if you know what you're listening for, you'll hear it. Yeah.
I want them to sound as good as possible.
For sure. I mean, every vehicle deals with it. Every single vehicle deals with it. The more flat the door is, the worse it is.
It's not only flat. I mean, it's super rigid too. It's backed by 16-pound foam, so it's welded to a cage. I mean, it's fucking
And you could probably get away without black hole tiles. You could probably use regular black hole 5, which is the non-treated version, because black hole tiles are treated for water resistance because it's a door. But your door isn't going to really be a door. It's going to be sealed like 100%. So you could probably do black hole 5 and get even better absorption.
Who makes that? Is that like a
black hole?
Black hole. Is there anything that Second Skin makes that's similar? Because I'm good friends with them. So I probably use Second Skin.
You will need some stuff from Second Skin to do it the way we do it. You will need stuff from them too. But I can get you black hole for probably like very good deal. Very good deal.
Okay, cool. I just want to use as much stuff from people I'm good friends with as possible.
Yeah, no, I like Eric. Eric's good people, man. Yeah, I got his stuff and Resonix throughout my truck because Resonix just makes some really good products and they sell black hole. So
sweet.
Where do you find black hole? Black Hole America?
I think that's it.
Bend over, Bobby. I'll show you a black hole.
No, and dude, they're expensive.
They're
like,
you will.
Like
it's more of a brown hole typically, but
they're like $400 for a
box.
box.
I'm done with it. It'll be a black hole. Anyways.
Yeah, no, it's a Black Hole America. They do Black Hole tiles, they do Black Hole 5, and Black Hole stuff, I think. And I have some of the 5 here, and I have a box of tiles for the Tahoe.
Steve could use a bunch of polyfill in his doors too.
Yeah,
to make it.
Well, you do the Black Hole tiles, the other product in a checkerboard pattern, and then you could use some proper like polyfill to help absorb more energy if you're having issues beyond that.
I have the most like acoustically, technically sound stunt doors on the planet.
You and the kid Bronco are gonna be battling, bro.
Oh, yeah, I got like all kinds of layers, dude. I got 32 layers of SQ foam in this bitch.
But people are gonna be like, bro, how do your stunt doors sound so good?
Yeah,
that's how it is, bro.
Stunting on them.
Stunting on
fucking
them.
Layers. There's layers to this game, dog.
There's layers, and we got all of them.
It starts with the black hole.
We got all of the black holes. What do you mean black hole? Yeah. Bend over, I'll show you the black hole.
Somebody said shitaholic hole.
I saw that coming. Shit
hole. Called the shit hole.
All right, I guess we should come out with some deadening material called shitaholic hole.
Shithole. Well, no, it's one of the products. It's shitaholic fucking deadening. And then it's the whole material. And
yeah.
So fucking dumb.
Which product do you want? I want the whole. Terrible.
Oh man, let me pull up some black holes.
You have like a treatment that you use to clean the material first, and it's called wipe.
That's dumb.
Called
shitaholic wipe.
First, I use our shitaholic wipe, and I clean the inside of the door, and then we put the shitaholic hole onto the door.
And then shitaholic jizz is what I use to stick it all
to
on
seal
the
it up.
That looks like some very nice stuff.
So
that looks like some very nice dark hole stuff.
Yeah. So this isn't quite what it looks a little darker than this, but
I'm sure it does.
That's what it is. Black hole tiles.
It almost looks like it's some sort of textile.
You want a half box? It's $210. So that's the checkerboard pattern I was talking about.
I see.
But then
you put regular sound deadening, and then you put that shit.
Yeah. So we do an additional material inside these checkerboards, and I'll show you and tell you about that.
Fill the square.
What is that?
We will talk about that in the chat in private.
It's 1/2-inch birch.
No, it is actual jizz, llama jizz to be specific.
Wow.
Mixed with play sand.
Yeah. Mixed with play sand. But no, this is Resonix. I don't know if y'all know. Y'all know who Nick Apicella or Pilica, whatever the fuck his last name is. You know who he is.
Yeah.
He makes some super good sound quality stuff. Like, this is the stuff I've been using. On top of, I've used a bunch of second skin as well because Eric's awesome. But these are badass, and I want to try some of this stuff.
I love the CLDs.
Where's it at?
So you want something really rigid and dense, but then you want something that also absorbs the sound at the same time.
45 millimeter? Okay.
It's a lot of technology.
And then the decoupler foam. This shit's mint. 7
Drew's
millimeter.
getting hard on over here.
Hey Drew, what's that? Second Skin sent me a couple kits. I remember like some door kits.
Damp Pro.
And there was this. There was this one piece in it that looked almost like a rubber spider, and it goes behind your speaker.
Oh yeah, it same thing. It diffracts the back wave, so it causes diffraction or diffusion, whatever you want to call it, to help eliminate the back wave. I haven't used this stuff, but I want to play with this. It is deadener, foam, and a sheet of lead.
Ooh, that's saucy. I like lead. Extra weight.
That way, Superman can't see you.
Loading mass.
Exactly. So that's compressed.
What is it measured?
That's how thick it is. So that's how thick it is without compressing the foam, and that's compressing the foam.
So what was the other picture with like the twisted up shit?
This is showing that the lead can be bent into position.
Oh, I see.
It will stay. Okay. So like, say you're filling a hole in a door, you can shape it to that hole and then attach it to the door, and it'll stay to that shape.
Okay.
But that stuff is
that stuff does look nice.
10 sheets, $2,400.
Oh,
damn! That's for That's for SQ cars, or
yeah.
What is this stuff? No, Jesus,
it's for
man.
sound quality stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, one sheet.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Coming from a guy who's dropped 80 grand on a build, I say, ouch.
I don't know.
Hey, Bobby, you've taken apart a lot of high-end cars. Like when you shut a Beamer door or a BMW door or whatever, they not a Mercedes door. They just sound different. They're heavier.
Solid
thuggier.
thud is easy. That's just mass. That's all that is.
Like, yeah, I mean, when you take the door apart, does it have a ton of deadener in it, or
No.
like what?
No,
it's just the door itself is just heavier.
Oh, they just got a lot of shit. Just got a lot of shit in there.
Just heavy. Just mass.
A heavy ass door.
I mean, like when we put a bunch of that sundown deadening in the Jeep doors and the mega cab doors, close the door and it's like
it's mass loading.
Even with all that sundown deadener, if you drive it down the road, if you don't do proper treatment for noise absorption, you're still gonna have it's still gonna sound the exact same.
It's gonna go right through it.
Yep.
Yeah, it has no
like road noise, wind noise. It'll go right through any amount of.
That material is only good for mass loading for low frequency vibrations.
That's when like that Resonix foam comes into play, or the second skin melanin foam, or all that other stuff. That's a sound absorption to absorb that. Like if you look at like the headliner of a high-end Mercedes, that headliner is probably like 2 inches thick. It's got a ton of material up in there to absorb sound.
Yeah. So you would do the sundown first, and then you do the second skin stuff on top.
No, if you're doing sundown, you don't. The damp pro, you don't need it, unless you just want to add more mass. But
the sundown stuff does also get rid of the
sundown gets rid of all
not just vibration.
It gets rid of vibrations. It dampens a little bit, and it's mass loading. But then if you want to get rid of noise, like road noise, you need to go with a proper mass loaded vinyl or closed cell foam on top of that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So
Damp Pro Second Skin has what is it? Luxury liner. Luxury liner. Yeah. Yes, that over the sundown deadener. You got some quiet.
And then you put the black hole chunks, right?
So the luxury liner would actually go like on the door panel itself, like the plastic door panel. It would be it'd be on that level, and then the black hole tiles would be further back on the
and that can be on top of the sundown.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if Hammy's watching her now, but that's actually what Hammy did to the doors in the Escalade, and it was retarded quiet in that car.
Oh, you do proper treatment on a vehicle, like. It's expensive and it's time consuming, but you be driving.
I think he did B-pillar forward too in that thing, all deadened and then all the luxury liner and all that.
I need to do my firewall. I need to do full treatment COD tiles and then all the sound stuff from my firewall in my truck and my back wall. Because all I hear in my Duramax is engine noise and road noise, and it is not quiet. Golly. That must be the sheets of the she must be talking about the sheets of barrier.
The stuff that's $2,400.
It's like trying to carry an 1/8 inch thick sheet of metal for that weight.
I was told that I need to use some of that barrier to make special floor mats for my truck to help eliminate the tactile feedback of the base in my floor. I'm tired of these SQ people and their SQ shit.
Why don't you just like laminate some plywood to the floor?
See, my idea is whenever we're welding up the nitro cage, it's just to weld in some steel strips underneath the floor. Get that fixed up.
Right.
Just pour some resonance sand all over the place.
What I wanted to talk with you guys and these guys a little bit. We got a build in the shop right now that we're working on, and I'm hoping that we'll have it wrapped up by the end of the month. It's a little Mazda pickup truck from the 90s.
Can we show the picture?
Yeah, show that picture of it. And the customer is a guy that's a little bit older than me, and he's a great customer of mine. He's super cool.
God damn.
Yeah, a little bit older than me. It's like really, really fucking old. No. He's named the truck Slam Halen. And obviously it has
It's a fucking B2000 right there.
B4000.
B4000.
Is it a 4? Oh
yeah.
Shit. Okay. God damn.
It's got the 4-liter V6, and we're putting 6 relentless 12s in a 4th order blow through. We're running on a Salt 12K wired at 1.3 ohms, and this thing should be awesome. So I was hoping that we could figure out what it would take to have Chris like rebase like the whole Van Halen album, the album that matches that
would be so sick.
And so that he would just have that whole shit on deck to play. I mean, I don't know if he'd play that all
That'd
day.
That'd be awesome for sure.
But it would be really cool for us to, give that to him. Be like, here's your jump drive that has this, and it's all rebased, in 25 hertz, or I don't know. You'd probably do the whole shit that you do, right? So
is this thing reworked so its stance is correct now? It's on bags or something? Please tell me.
No, it's not bags. Like, he's gonna lower it a little bit, but we're gonna put the box and shit all in it first. He's gonna lower it a little bit more. I think he's gonna
please lower it a lot bit, like a lot bit, not a lot.
Fucking make it late frame.
Yeah, lower it like a foot.
Yeah,
that's not a mini truck. That's not a mini truck. That's a stock truck on 20s.
I didn't say it's a fucking mini truck. Sheesh.
How much would a guy plan on paying to have a set of doors done by Gately? Bring your money.
Most door panels are start about $5,000 a set.
Bring your money, but
extra saucy cocksucker.
But brother, my brother in Christ, let me tell you about these door panels. When I first saw the Raiden, I had to get back in the car and be like, sit for a minute. I was like,
they're pretty fancy.
They're nice and they're just like, I don't know what the Raiden's doors cost, but you need those. You whoever you are, Bobby, Facebook user, you need some of them. I checked.
Bobby, do you ever completely do the entire door panel, or do you more or less like to incorporate some of the stock door panel?
I mean, it usually makes sense to incorporate some of the stock panel, but depending on the vehicle, Ray Pimley's truck, we made the whole shit.
Right.
I've done a couple where I did the whole door, but most of everything I've done in the last 5 years have been part of a door.
See, but and
do you think it's harder or easier to start with like a blank slate and just be able to do your own thing, or trying to incorporate into a stock door panel, or is it?
Well, a lot of times, a really good example of doors that are really awesome were the doors I built for Amanda Raby's Suburban.
Okay.
The doors got kind of outshined by the box that I did that had the stack fab with all the crazy
I don't even really see the doors
inside and all this stuff. Yeah.
The doors were sealed box doors, and they looked like close to fucking factory, and they used the upper half of the door stock.
That's my favorite style.
And with a guy that bought the truck, didn't get the box with it, but he was driving back and it had 8, B2 6.5s, 2 in each door and sealed boxes. And he was like, this thing doesn't need a box at all. This thing fucking pounds with just these subs.
Just doors,
you got 2,000 watts on 8 6.5s and sealed boxes. It sounded awesome. But, they looked damn near stock. So that's
my favorite.
Often how that works. Now, I think it's reasonable for me to fabricate without using part of the door, but in most applications, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I want 8 6.5s per door, but I want, and I'm giving up a door handle. I already know that. That's fine with that. But I don't want to move my window switches and heated seat and all. I want to keep all that in the factory location, and then below it make it hot.
What do you do, Bobby, to make your
buddy, he could easily hit
your factory door looks so much like one piece? Is there is it just all body work that obviously is painted over?
You haven't seen how the Raiden?
Dude, I haven't seen it apart.
Magnetic.
I've only seen it together, and it looks so together that it looks like it's one piece.
The inner part is a stack fab, and then the outside part is also a stack fab that attaches with magnets.
Right.
Yeah, like all the trim around the speakers is like leather, vinyl wrapped, stack fab with held on by neomagnets.
Right, maybe I'm just not seeing it in my head, but the factory door panel itself.
Let me go
like, that part's gone. Right, like on the Raiden, right below that handle where the thing is and the window switches. From there down, that's all me.
Okay, yeah, but where the factory panel and you meet, what do you do there? You
There's
just
a little bit of body work there.
Just a real nice bevel.
Colt fucking tapes it off just right, and he puts a layer of double-sided tape in the middle of his tape layers and makes it just so, and then he shapes it in there with some badass fiberglass reinforced body filler, and then pops that sucker off there and starts sanding and shaping and makes it amazing.
Nice.
I found some pulled back photos of the doors. I
know
there's a video.
That's what I'm saying.
The method is simple. It's all stack fab with finishing work. It's beautiful. It works.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it looks like it's, if I remember right, it looks like it's just one piece. Like you don't see, it doesn't look like.
Well, the outside shell is one.
It couples over the whole thing, right? Over the whole back.
Yeah, it just all looks like one door panel. It doesn't look like the factory piece.
It doesn't look like it's a box.
Actually,
people are like, damn, these doors are solid. I'm all, yeah, it's a big ass block. It weighs fucking 35 pounds. Like, shit.
Yeah.
It was on Mead's YouTube channel. He had you pull the front of the pull the door apart.
Yeah, when I pulled the door apart at Surf, it was fixing the stupid wires that I fucked up. I pulled that shell off, and somebody was like, "Whoa, like what the fuck?"
I saw this video.
Yeah,
I love this video. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, see, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, it just you can't. It looks factory as fuck. Like,
I mean, I appreciate that.
So good, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I have my moments where they drive me crazy. Every time I finish a set, I figure out 10 things that I
see, like, look at that. I literally, if you didn't pop that off, I wouldn't even known that comes off. It looks like it's fucking one piece.
That's good. That's good craftsmanship. So when you're able to hide any imperfections, everything, make it look like it's one real piece, then you did a good job.
Obviously, well, I mean, there's nothing easy about that shit either. And I appreciate that, Chris. I mean, me and the guys, we stripped those and reupholstered them 3 or 4 times now, getting that shit just right. And then now recently I was talking to Jim, and he was talking to me about doing a bunch of suede on the headliner versus the headliner material. And then Colt was like, that means we're going to need to do suede on the A-pillars and on all the doors too, right? And I was like, do you think so? And he's like, if I know Jim, then I know a motherfucker that's going to want you to wrap everything in suede.
So this truck is what changed my perspective on how a loud vehicle should sound. These doors, astounding sound. And then, just look at. So, Chris, I was telling you that it'd be good for our builds. That makes the door stronger.
Well, here's the thing:
bolted to the door.
My last Jeep, we built them with a friend, and we built them just like that in a sense, but it was like a half piece, and we cut out only a certain part of the inner skin. We bolted it, actually riveted everything in, and it was just pretty much round baffles, and everything kind of just worked together. And then we made a beauty plate that went over top of it. That was the covered everything up. That was the whole outer door. But we made like a 1/2 inch thick out of fiberglass resin because we wanted and chop mat and stuff because we wanted to be really strong for the kick score. And that literally gained like 3.5 decibels just doing the doors as strong as I could for a beauty plate. It was insane. Yeah.
Hey Chris,
woke it right up because the fucking plastic underneath their stock is so weak it just flaps around.
Whenever Bobby does your doors, have him do some 308, some pillars like this, bro. It is.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to have to come up
I got a bunch of stereo integrity stuff in to do mine.
Those B2 CDR horns that I use.
Impressive.
Fucking, they get a win, man. They are such a good product. And I mean, the first time I did that, I did it in the Green Monster, in my own truck.
You got some trash in the Actually, those horns aren't bad. I'll give them that. Those horns actually aren't that bad, but they are.
They are massive. If you actually get them playing as loud as they can play. They will melt your eyelids off your face.
Yeah, no fucking thank you.
Get out of that thing on fire. It's oh my god.
I'll come over there and set it on fire.
What was the point of having the? I mean, I guess
what? What's that?
I just feel like you almost don't need those things back there.
You don't.
Jim needs that thing to be able to hurt a little bit, and I made it so that we have those to make it hurt a lot. So, Like he needed highs to be able to like kill you. So like people will tap to those highs before they do the 1212s that are doing like a 58 or something. So
factory new Escalades have 36 speakers in them. So new Escalade would be the answer to that.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, only reason I know that is because Jeffrey Hall they did a build at MTI. They kept everything factory, I think they even kept factory speakers. They just replaced it with VXI everything. 36 individual channels. One for every speaker.
And they got to process each one of them. Could you
no, the amps have built-in processors.
Right.
Okay.
So
is that in reference to what I said about the 8-channel amp?
So they had 6. Like if they had 6 of the 6 channels with a bit, right, to do all that, and then did they get an improvement?
Let's find out. At Hald in the chat, come to live stream. Tell us about Escalade.
Blake, if you were referencing what I said earlier, I meant like for people that have big ass doors, like big stunt doors, to have an 8-channel. Like a couple of those per door for me would be perfect, because then I could run all my mids on those 250s and then run all those horns off the 50s.
And all the horns on the little channels, right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's either that or I want somebody to make me like a big 5,000 watt fucking full range.
A 5,000 watt fucking.
All right, so I asked him if he wants to just get in the chat or he wants to like hop on live. I don't think we've ever actually just brought anyone in randomly in the middle of the show.
Fucking bring him in. Let's try it. It's first time for everything. We're going into overtime. We're past the 2 hour point here.
Yeah,
I like overtime.
But this is very interesting. We're learning a lot of cool shit right now. You guys did a Bobby Gately door panel love fest, and I'm all fuzzy now.
Dude, they're so fucking good.
It was a fast 2 hours. This was the quickest 2 hours, I think.
It really was.
We're going into overtime, just like how we know up here in Minnesota, the fucking Vikings.
Well, no, because Chris is one. He's like one. He's one of the. Like Chris is one of the guys, like, and he understands what we're talking about. That's the biggest thing.
How far away are you from Hammy?
He's
in Savage, right?
I guess.
I mean, he is a savage.
He is a savage, yeah.
He is a savage.
I'm 3 hours north of him. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Dude, he sent me some videos today. Him shoveling his shit. Here. He's got like this 6-foot snow drift in front of his house. I'm like,
snow.
That, dude.
Yeah, he's having wind out there, but in town
the snow drift is one of them good drifts.
We push snow up here like Tony Montana.
We have in Vegas. We don't have those.
Yeah, bet. Dude, I had a funny incident in Vegas. My buddy Nick is a DJ dude, and he or an MC, and he wanted, like, we were out hanging out, and he's like, let's go visit my buddy. He's working in the Palms at the blah blah blah, like the super duper high end club. We walk in, and he's like, oh, we're going to see DJ blah blah blah, and the bouncer guy on the elevator's like, all right, I'll take you guys up. And he's like, I'm bringing these guys to see the band, and we're walking in, and it's kind of hasn't really started cracking off yet. And we walk in and we're standing there talking to him, and I hear this like little commotion, and the girl kind of screams a little bit, and then she's like sitting down and she's holding up her foot. She's got a bunch of white stuff on her foot, and her foot's hella bleeding. And somebody dropped like a little jar of cocaine on the ground, and she stepped on it, and it broke, and it cut her foot. And then this dude is like sweeping a mass amount of cocaine, and this dude is just standing there like he wanted to pick through it or something, like fucking foot blood and glass.
What am I doing
like,
right
wanted
now?
to go in anyway.
Well, welcome to the live stream, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Does she get a little fucked up from it? I'm getting
I fucking bet she did.
yeah, hell yeah.
It was very
Jeffrey. We were randomly talking about 8-channel amps, this and that, and someone asked a question about what vehicle has 8 speakers in a door, and I said, well, I don't know about 8, but it'd have to be like a new Escalade because they have like 36 speakers factory.
Yeah, so it's actually 36 factory speakers, but there's 29 channels. So it's 29 channels of active amplification. If you care to, I can rattle them off, but most people's eyes will just glaze over.
Now let's go. What you got? Let's go.
Yeah, let's glaze some eyeballs, man.
So glazing eyeballs, there's 3 coaxials in the dash, left, center, and right. The center is a bi-amped center, so it's a 3 and a tweet bi-amped. Both the left and the right front pillars are a tweeter with 2 1-inch speaker arrays. So it's 3 tweeter size speakers there, but 2 of them are mid-range kind of speakers. Fronts are 6.5 stock, but easily upgraded to 8s. You've got a 6.5 front subwoofer. Back doors are those same pillar arrays, but are in the back doors, obviously. 6.5s in the back doors on the bottom end. 4 inches in the D pillars. And then you have left and right headrest speakers, which are 1-inch speakers in both the passenger and driver headrests, and then you have 4 ceiling speakers as well.
So, question: Are they tuning for each individual seat for listening position for all those speakers, or like how are they doing? What are they doing exactly?
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool math. A lot of it I'd have to reference to like the guys at Harman or anything. I've been blessed enough to take measurements of all these speakers and channels and what they are doing. It's really freaking cool. The layman's terms for everyone would be, if you've ever sat in an SQ car ever in the driver's seat, this vehicle from factory sounds just like a real SQ car, except from all 4 fucking seats.
So they're, and somehow every listening position is just immaculate.
Yeah. I mean, and now, like, is my car or a high-end SQ car better? Yes. But did I sit in the driver's seat and go, wow? And then I sat in the passenger seat and I was like, no way. And then I sat in the third passenger seat on the passenger side rear, and I was like, are you kidding me? And I didn't even sit in the last seat.
Because
it should be the same, right? Now, when you guys dug into this thing, right? Drew said you guys upgraded this thing, right? Did you add a bunch of amps and have all of these channels amplified, and you kept the stock speakers? Did you upgrade them? What did you guys do to this thing?
Yeah,
how do you make that better?
It's actually in our shop right now for the second time. So first time around, sorry, I forgot the rear subwoofer in that whole explanation, but it had a 12-inch rear sub too.
Oh, cool.
So,
and is that in an enclosure? Is it ported box, box? Same with the 6.5 and the dash. Is that a ported box?
Yeah, they're both sealed. The front 6.5 was basically a full range signal. The back 12-inch or 10-inch, I forget what it was, but the back one was a band limited, very, very low frequency driver, like 35 and below kind of thing.
The front one's picking up the rest and giving you the full fill.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of phase stuff happening, kind of like the the Chevy Bose systems. If you mess with the new Bose system, there's a gazillion things happening in that one, but it doesn't sound anywhere near as good as this AKG system. But so the first time, whenever you have a really, really good factory system, like it images and stages, and tonality can be a little bit off, but your main issues are maybe a little bit tonality, but mostly loudness. Well, just go line to line. All we did in this thing was we did 4 VXI 808s, which I'm sure you guys know are the JL DSP amplifiers. And you go...
And those are 8 channels?
Yeah, 8 channels in, 8 channels out, and they do have pre-outs as well, so you can control additional things if need be. Or if you want to ask Drew what a loopback is.
I love loopbacks.
you can ask him what a loopback is. Different explanation, different time. So what you do is, let's say we're talking left tweeter. Well, you go left tweeter signal in to amplifier, let it, basically just pass through, no crossovers, no anything. You can EQ it if you want, and then you let it go straight back out to the speaker. All you do is you amplify it, and then you can, EQ it to taste if you want. You can adjust levels up and down, and it keeps all the same imaging and staging. But I mean, we got 10 to 15 more dB out of it just without breaking any factory speakers.
That's kind of incredible.
So
just a massive jump in, and it just sounds exactly the same essentially, and it's just way fun.
Damn,
Is this the system that comes stock in the Escalades, or is this an upgraded system in the Escalade?
Yeah, it's a premium system from Escalade. It's the AKG system, and 36 factory speakers, 29 channels. And take it from me, if you ever just wanted to pull up to a non-finals level SQ show, You grab you one of these and you enter in anything you want, you'll do just fine.
That's cool. Now, what are you guys doing to it now?
So the customer originally did the 4 VXI 808s, and then 2 1500s and 2 W713 sealed box. He wanted some boom boom, you know, and so all we did was the front doors. We did Utopia 8s, the back subs, amplified all the channels, and added the 2 1500s.
That's a pretty meaty upgrade, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it sounds fantastic. It's got an amazing bandwidth. It'll, you know, do a mid to low 140. You know, it's pretty cool considering you can seat 4 full-grown adults and SQ from all 4 seats.
Did you keep the factory 12, or did you delete that with the 2 13s?
That was deleted. Okay. So
makes sense. You kind of have to.
Yeah, it just would have been a nightmare.
Right, if you want to, fight that.
So I was gone for a minute, but I don't know if they introduced you, Jeffrey, to those, you know, because I think last time we were here, we were on our 3rd episode, maybe. So I mean, it's been a bit. Jeffrey is front of house / tuning guru at Mobile Toys Inc. in College Station, but beyond that, before that, even multi-time world champion in sound quality. Not only sound quality, but double triple crown winner. Triple crown is install, SQ.
The real legend is here.
And
people.
SPL? It used to be SPL. They have since simplified it, but I hope they bring back the SPL.
So he has to win install and SQ, which is
two SQ judges now is what they do. But
and he did all that under the age of 31.
So, I appreciate.
If you would have said 16, I'd have been like, "Fucking wow!" Like, dude,
31. Well, I was gonna say 30, but he's like 2 months older than me.
So,
but I mean, if you go to an SQ event, I mean, me and Jeffrey are the youngest by like a 15-year, 20-year gap.
Yeah,
and one more thing, and then you can have back at it. We need to get Bobby into your car. His only experience with SQ vehicle is quiet.
Yeah, actually, I had one good one at Surf this year. That was pretty fucking badass. And strangely enough, it was the same vehicle that I had been previously. That was a pretty quiet build, and now his current build is fucking loud and awesome. And he gave me the business well enough that he got in trouble. From the SQ judge. Guy's like, he's all mad at him and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he pointed at me like giving him a demo, and I'm like, got you in trouble.
He had a bunch of IB stuff in his car, didn't he?
Yeah, he had 312s IB. He had I believe he had a 10 in each kick panel IB, and he had like everything was dying audio, and he had these fucking tweeters that were as big around as my face, right next to like a mid that was, and they were at the bottom of the A pillar, and that was the best sounding vehicle I've ever been in. It was fucking outstanding, and it sounded good, and it was loud. And then I was like, "Is there more in it?" And he was like, "I was afraid you'd ask that. I figured out what to do." He's like, "There you go." And then he cranked it up, and it sounded just as good. It was just way fucking louder. I was like, "Why don't you play it like that?" He's like, and then the guy's like, "What are you doing?" I'm all
way too loud, bro.
Yeah, you're playing the music too loud.
And I had always heard that SQ vehicles are quiet, but my only experience with real SQ was Brad Knobloch and Taylor, and they both don't care about volume all the way up. And then Jeffrey and MTI, and they're the same way. If it doesn't leave, if it's not loud, then what's the point of it?
Yeah,
leave it at the house.
If it's not loud, then you could have just bought the stock Escalade and been perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's right there, but yeah, I get it.
It's a very, very technical term. It has to jam when it leaves MTI. It has to jam. And
well, I mean, even before that, your car was loud before you worked there.
Yeah, well,
probably part of why he got his job.
I've always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed it being able to jam. Basically, but the bottom line is if you can talk to the person next to you, no. If you can yell at the person next to you, that's okay. If you can't talk to the person next to you, we're good.
That's how Tahoe is. Just zero communication from side to side. And then
you need to know ASL is what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to. But you're speaking a sign language, and actually, no. I want the Tahoe loud bass wise to where your hands don't function right. You're like, golly. But no, Jeffrey's a bad influence. On top of that, he is not a good influence when it comes to SQ.
Mm-hmm.
I just tell you.
Well, I mean, based on what he's done to you, I bought a fucking $4,000 tuning gizmo. When am I gonna have that shit? I needed that shit yesterday, real bad.
I don't know. I think it's got to go to the other person and then out to you. So
yeah,
I mean,
it's not drop shippable.
So I mean, it'll be quick.
Yeah, I understand.
There's got to be some sort of commission in there for you, Drew and Jeff, right? From JL, you got a little check coming. Oh, you should. Look what happened.
No, but it is an awesome tool, and anyone here and watching, I do encourage you to get it. There, Drew is working on something that if I got back into SPL, I would absolutely do, and that's optimizing phase responses on subs and getting like some dumb efficiencies with everything lined up.
It's looking like I was going to use Steven's van for a lot of this, but it's looking like he's talking about selling it. So
yeah,
if he gets rid of it, today. If he gets rid of it, then we'll have to start with the nitro because we'll have individual sub control. We can start with that, but it's going to be easy because it's all forward firing. It's going to be easy. But we'll need to get next time I get Price's Tahoe, I'll drag it to College Station and be like, so have you ever seen bad phase response? Let me show you what subs 25 degrees out from each other looks like.
Well, Jeff, are you going to be at SEMA this year?
I won't. I'm pretty much not allowed to go anywhere. I get to be in the front of the house and the front of the house.
How about Slam? You going to be at Slam?
Maybe. On weekends, it's a conversation. On anything weekday, no. So
Slam is weekend.
Yeah, I want to go to Master Tech really bad.
College Station is an hour and a half 2 hours north of Houston.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, middle of Texas.
How far away that is? How far?
It's where Texas A&M is.
Yeah, no, the plane flight would definitely be easier than driving for sure.
Rhonda, compliments to me, but compliments to Jeffrey for teaching me how to not be a dummy. I mean, it's a struggle. I mean, he struggles every day.
Nah,
he wakes up like, what dumbass stuff is Drew gonna say today?
Yeah, my favorite part about Drew though is that you are out there trying to learn this complicated tool, and everyone else is like, oh no, tuning is subjective. Tuning is this, tuning is that. Like, no, dude, you have been in these vehicles. You know that there's a quantifiable like, yeah, that car sounds better. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, SQ is kind of subjective, but you go from like my truck when Mick first heard it at Sundown Show with an out of phase mid bass and horribleness to what it is now. It's not even remotely comparable. Or even the last time I competed at Aggie Land, it's not even. I mean, you heard it with the last set of tweeters and mid basses. It's better. It's far better now.
I'll tell everyone on this chat right now.
Here comes.
I'm not shy about saying that my car is pretty good, but Drew's mid range was better than my car last time I heard it. I was like, holy shit, this thing is good. His tweeters were trash. You move your head a little bit, and it's gone.
So the tweeters, they're off axis. Well, my tweeters are way off axis. They're like hard. On top of that, I had a time alignment issue off by like a half millisecond. That was my fault. I corrected a bunch of it. But yes, putting in speakers that were 6 times the cost definitely made my tweeters better. That occurred.
What mid bass are in the truck, Drew?
Right now I have
not
Chiari.
You have Chiari? The fuck is that?
It is an Italian brand that
shit looks like it says Claire.
It says Claire.
It does. It says Claire. Jeff Schneider.
Fragile.
Jeff Schneider, who used to be at Dayton / Parts Express, who's now at BNC. He sent me those. He's like, hey, try these out. I said, okay, I'll try them out. So I put those in. Those are the mid basses and the doors because I'm going 8s. I'm going to put 8s in my doors because I hate my life and I want to find rattles. I want to make more rattles. So I'm putting 8s in my doors. So I'm running those until I do 8s. And then I have JL, C7, mid-range C7 tweeters in the pillars.
But those mids sound really good, huh?
They're fantastic.
Not just
in your doors, and you're talking about in your Duramax, and those are under or in a pod that's in the little fucking New Jersey shape and California shape grills.
The mids are in a bracket that are bolted to the metal of the door.
Behind that grill?
Yeah, behind the grill.
And then you're going to put an 8 behind that, or you're going to build a whole pod?
Nope. 8's going to go in the factory location. Factory-ish location. With some modifications for specific things that Jeffrey wants me to do for the doors.
What is your
Does it change your class or something to actually, if you built a pod that was on the door, Drew? If I build a pod on the door of these trucks?
So you can build a pod on the door. You can have any-ish size driver. Since you're in the industry, you're going to be in Pro-Am or Pro.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much do anything that you want.
What about for my customers that I'm building shit for that may or may not want to?
Yeah, stick to factory locations for anyone that doesn't want to get their booty beat the first couple times out.
Or Bobby, you're asking just about customers and like the ones who don't want to compete, they just want the best sound possible.
Some of them might want to compete.
Yeah, so you can do pillars, you can do dashes and things, but keep it the traditional tweeter 3 kind of situation, tweeter 4, because once you get into just in IASCA, there's a couple entry level classes, novice and amateur, and as soon as you start getting past that, you're talking about guys that have been around the SQ block 3, 4, 5 times, and a couple of them might be champions in that class, so they know what they're doing, and you don't want your fresh customer to get 17th
to
place.
go in and be like, oh, sure, yeah.
But so if you build pods, you automatically in those classes.
So you can build pods in amateur and up, which amateur is the second from the bottom. Thing about pods to be careful of is, and this is super deep SQ theory, but the long and short of it is you're maximizing the amount of reflections that you have, which isn't good. So typically pods aren't the way to go for mid-range and tweets.
And then with say the mid basses, you're bringing them more into the vehicle. You're going to narrow your sound stage. You're going to narrow the total width you could get.
Yeah. So if you go ahead.
Take the factory locations, like in most of these, like Drew's truck. I mean, what's your grill look like? In my mind, it's like all plastic with some barely any slits in it. Did you?
Yeah, you're gonna stick an 8 behind that.
So, but did you cut all that out and then put like a mesh in there?
So
you have to kind of do
this.
This
is over 8 inches. Like an 8 will fit behind this. I cut this out to fit the adapter that I have because the adapter I have is large. I'll put it that way.
So factory location seems like the best bet because it's furthest away. As long as you get rid of all the plastic in the
way. Yeah, but then doing all this, you have to treat a lot. Like I didn't realize how important the treating of the door panel was. So this is the door panel of my truck.
Right, the plastic itself, yeah.
So there's all this, and this is stuff that Jeffrey's fiance, she did all this, and she'll do it for other people too who want it done, because this is time consuming.
So she's something special because she treats it like a puzzle. She likes to just put up a table in front of the TV and do a jigsaw puzzle kind of thing, except it's with sound treatment. It's glorious.
So this is layer 1. And then layer 2.
And so what you're not seeing in there, and we could have gone even farther on Drew's, you can use butyl rope where all the panels are plastic welded together.
I did that separately. I did that later. Actually, you see some of it in here.
Yeah, you can exactly. You can use butyl rope to shore up some plastic welds. You can treat the whole thing with CLD, which is what that is. It's the Amplifier Pro, and then you want to decouple it either using a fiber mat or a CCF closed cell foam one of those two, which is what Drew has. He has a 12 mil CCF on there.
But yep,
good shit.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to like tear into my Sprinter van, and I really would like to build something that sounds really beautiful. Maybe even do some SQ competing with it.
Cool.
Have you done anything with a Sprinter?
I haven't. Biggest thing with the Sprinter is going to be the fact that the windshield's kind of vertical. It's very much like SPL where super deep slanted windshields aren't necessarily good. Where flat windshields, kind of vertical-ish windshields are a little bit better for SQ generally. So you'll have a good time there. You're in a high enough class being a professional that you could put some seat rails in there, get your seats a little bit farther back. Distance to the speaker is important.
I mean, well, maybe not for Bobby, but like maybe he could like adjust it back. I mean, because he's going to.
Well, so like in a.
You're not very tall.
I'm all make rails and make my seat go back further. I gotta scoot that little motherfucker forward to touch the pedals as it is.
Well, sorry, I was assuming competing, daily driving.
Yeah, no, for sure, I understand. Yeah.
But in competing, the seat rails back is like the equivalent of like bolting your door in an SPL, but the basically what you're going to be looking for is the biggest problem with the Sprinter van is it's going to be wide and short. So meaning, it won't sound good in the passenger seat, just letting you know.
Right.
Unless you get your seat rails about 2 feet back, and then it'll sound freaking fantastic.
Just put a second seat back there, and if you wanted to sound really bitching while you're riding with me, you can hop in the back.
There's something wrong with my wife. There's something wrong with my wife. She said 5 guys, 1 podcast.
That's dirty.
Oh, so Jeffrey, I have a question.
Hold on.
I had this thought.
What you got?
So single seat tuning, right? Single seat judging. Does it have to be the driver's seat?
No.
So I have a middle seat in the back of my truck that would put you equal length to every speaker in the truck.
You're like, in the back, bitch.
So yes, you probably could get away with that. And my favorite way to approach competition, whether if it's SPL or SQ, is if you're not rubbing, you're not racing. You find the part of the rule book that it doesn't apply, and then next year they're going to write a rule about you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to just come in without saying anything. Be like, all right, sit in the middle of the back seat. Thank you.
Get in that baby seat in the back, motherfucker.
Get in the bitch seat. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you had a bench seat in the front and then you extended your rails by like a foot, and then you put your whole bench seat back, so it's like in the middle of the truck.
Yeah. So that's my favorite. My favorite.
Or if you
part
just took the whole ass front seat out, just pull up
and just put one seat in the middle. Just do it, Drew. Fuck it.
So they do
it's called
mention
Princess Civic.
I know, but make it. Do you do it?
Oh.
So they do mention in specific classes in the rule book that you have to maintain, safety features such as airbags, seat belts, and seating positions, at least the factory amount of seats up until a certain class.
Well, good thing the middle of the back seat is a factory seating position.
It is a factory seating position.
I'm putting the max in there tomorrow morning.
So
I'm tuning that thing tomorrow morning.
In order for it to work, Drew, and this is just me theory crafting, but hopefully I don't give away too much online. You'd probably have to fold your seats down so that you didn't have any impact to your soundstage, and then you would have to demonstrate that you have a seat belt there and it is a factory seating position, and then you might be able to get away with it.
Easy. Oh, that's easy.
So
I'm tuning that tomorrow morning.
This is my favorite part about having years of SPL in front of my SQ was conversations like this. Like you guys came up with 3 ways to break the rules in 30 seconds.
Dude.
Yeah, Drew,
the rules is SPL guys stuff.
You're gonna have to test like every seating position for the front seats as well, because maybe like 45 degrees and you sit in the back seat.
That's easy. No, I'm not sitting anywhere. Sir, I have a $4,000
not you. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Your mics,
I can like angle the seats differently to get better mid-bass response from left to right.
Maybe fully laid out is perfect. Maybe all the way up. I mean, who knows, dude?
So I got a full day at finals too. I did exactly what Drew just said at finals, where I laid my passenger seat farther back than my driver's seat. So that way you can get a better path length difference from your ears on the passenger seat, even though it was a driver's side seat tune.
It's not cheating. It's gray rule. It's the gray area.
Yeah.
That's not cheating.
Yeah, actual cheating is bullshit.
The rule book specifically
but like finding
says
where
what
to make
is and
things
isn't
happen
allowed.
in a rule
If it's
book,
not in the rule book,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Or if it is in the rule book, but what you're doing isn't in the rule book, then they weren't specific enough. And you need to be the reason people are upset on the DB drag forum next week.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if the car does its stock, it's fucking legal. My opinion.
Like next year, whenever Wayne issues new rules, people need to be mad. It needs to be your fault.
No.
You guys saw the new Super Duper Extreme class?
What Super Duper Extreme class?
I've
seen that there might be a limit to the unlimited deadener.
No, there's a new class called Super Duper Extreme.
Boy, stop it. No, there's not.
I swear to God, dude, but I think
Show
it's
us that shit.
Show us a Super Duper.
Show me that Super Duper Extreme.
How extreme is it?
But
Super duper.
They were fucking with me, which I guess I could have because I'm pretty gullible when it comes to this shit.
But that sounds like something. That sounds like something like was that ISPLL or NS or what?
I'm pretty sure it's USAC, dude.
Oh well, USAC would definitely do something really like that.
Oh
but
yeah,
I'm probably wrong. They were probably fucking with me, and they're probably laughing their asses off right now.
No,
but
Super
no, it
Duper
has
Extreme sounds like something they would do. Super duper shitaholic. the upper decker shitaholic.
Upper decker shitaholic. Imagine you're like, I have an addiction. I always shit in the upper deck.
The upper tank. In the upper tank.
So the seatbelt doesn't affect the audio component, but it will require that it's an OEM location. Because moving a seat back in SQ, if you move back 6 inches, you've now equalized path lengths a lot. Like you've improved it a lot off of just a 6-inch reversal of the seat. That's like there's somebody who lives near me, who competes with his seat like all the way against the steering wheel. I'm like, could you make it any worse?
In SQ, it almost seems like you want like maybe a 1970s boat style car, something that's
what you want is a 2021 really Toyota
really
Camry.
Don't give away my secrets, Drew.
A NASCAR. You want a NASCAR?
I don't know. It seems like the further away you are from everything, the better. What's better than a 1970s boat? I mean, those things.
So,
you can't get any bigger.
I'll answer your question, Steve. The reason that you don't has to do with your angles to the speakers. So a good example in my car is if you go behind the B pillar, soundstage is impossible to get right. You have to be, because of the way the reflections are in my car, you have to be at least even with the B pillar. So just like an SPL, there's sweet spots. You can't go too far.
Right. Makes sense, I guess. All right, well, boys, we've been
and it's awful for everything.
2.5 hours. Holy crap! Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a wrap. I think we should have Jeff back on the time. I'm sure we'll have Chris back on again. He's super duper fun, and we all learned a whole bunch of shit. And
we should have Jeffrey.
I didn't say anything.
We should have Jeffrey, Scott, and Matt on all at once. I think it'd be great.
Oh boy,
it'd be a fucking mess.
All right. Now, what needs to happen is Bobby, you need to build something and then come to Aggie Land and compete with it.
Good idea.
And Chris, you make the music.
Yeah,
it'll be
I got fucking rebased SQ remitted music.
Make some SQ music,
just
bro.
No.
Yeah,
he's got make SQ music.
DJ Rustical making mid-range speakers, smoke.
Listen, he is clearly
dudes close their eyes and
busy
giggle.
at the moment, bruh.
Making
Give the man a minute.
Climb
that'd be the dumbest shit. I wouldn't recommend it. Maybe an original piece, sure. But
it'd be the flattest response.
Chris
ever.
produces music.
Yeah, people forgot that too.
Yeah, make an original SQ track, like 7 of them.
God, I don't think you realize the engineer had to go behind something like that.
You have to
it's
sing.
A big deal.
You have to do the singing on that shit. You gotta belt shit out. All right, gentlemen. What is this?
Yeah. Download the app, DJ Rusticals. Okay, before we leave, how do people
what
find
the fuck
you?
is that? Is that some porn? What the hell was I just looking at?
Max.
I saw a bed. I saw a bed post or
Like
whatever.
a
I'm
bed.
like, what are we showing?
You got your Max tune on your bed? What are you doing, yo?
I mean,
Oh my god.
it is literally.
All right, Chris. Though, before we sign off,
puts it on his head before he does the hanky panky. It looks like antlers. He's
no,
like,
I catch the sound.
Tell me my
5D.
SQ score is good, babe.
That's why I get the sound in HD.
Plugs the mics into his ears and his butt.
No, that's wrong.
Oh my god!
All right, yeah, make a shitaholic track now. I guess
A negative 10 dB shitaholic SQ track.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna add all the distortion. Like fuck you.
Yeah, make a shitaholic quietly loud intro track. We'll use that shit.
I want to make everything mono and then fucking distort it all to hell. You go fuck yourself.
It would still sound good in Jeffrey's car.
You can even that could be an intro.
Still sound good.
You can be like,
it would
DJ
sound
Rascals,
accurate.
and I'm gonna make everything mono and all distorted, and you can go fuck yourself, and then play the song, and people will be like, "This is my favorite one."
This shit fucking slams, man. I was like, "What the fuck?"
This shit slaps.
All right, boys. Have a nice night.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks a lot for jumping on, Jeff and Chris. You were awesome. Thank you for everything, and don't cream so many fucking seats.
I cream my own.
Shit. Yeah, cream your own seats. Yeah, seat creamer.
All right, guys.